Welcome to Fringe Fanatics with Chad Lee and Chris Zane.
And we are back. It is Fringe Fanatics. I am Chris Zane.
And I am Chad Lee. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, if you guys are listening or watching right now, please hit that subscribe button. As we like to say, like, share, subscribe, follow, and please rate us 5 stars on whatever you're listening or watching us on. It really helps us out, gets us out there, and we just need more of it. So please.
Don't forget to check out the YouTube.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe to that YouTube because we need more subscribers on everything. But we would also like, if you would like to reach out to us at any point, please feel free. Jeez, we got this. Please feel free to reach out to either me or Chad directly. You can DM us on Instagram or Facebook. You can also DM the show directly, or you could reach out to us at fringefanatics.podcast@gmail.com. We would like you guys to kind of start getting interactive with us, and if you want us to talk about something, whatever it may be, please let us know.
Please.
Chad, how are you doing this week?
Chris, I'm really fucking good.
I bet you are.
Yeah, you know why. I've been waiting for this moment ever since about Sunday at 8 o'clock, just to rub it in your face.
Yeah. It's okay. Things are on the up and up for the Donkeys, so I'm okay this week.
I know, and I can't wait to get into that news. That was pretty exciting.
What did you do this weekend aside from, you can tell us what happened on Sunday. You can tell us about that, I guess.
Yeah, obviously we went to Don's. That's what we do every time we watch the Chiefs, and that was madness. It was just as busy as always. And if anybody hasn't ever gone, if there are any Chiefs fans in the Denver area, metro area, go to Don's Club. It's Don's Mixed Drink Tavern on 6th Avenue. It's like a dive bar. It's great because it's not some fancy kind of hipster bar, like there's a few other Chiefs bars around, but they're nowhere. They don't hold a candle to Don's, not even close. It is the best spot.
Oh, we got it. Oh, shit's popping off in Commerce City.
Yeah.
Oh no.
There's always
back
around.
to Don's. I've been there one time, and it is a pretty cool bar to go see a game. And if you're a Chiefs fan, it was pretty raucous.
It is rowdy,
rowdy, raucous.
The bartenders in there, they are the true MVPs. The way they can handle the amount of people
onslaught.
in there is. It's like zombie apocalypse. Like, I need my PBR. It's nuts. Shout out to Jen, Amanda, Amy, all of them. They kill it in there.
And they all better start listening to the show.
They will.
You just called them out by name and gave them a shout out. So
yeah.
Hopefully they all become #1 fans of the show. I will allow Chiefs fans to like this show. It's okay. I'll let it happen.
Well, we have been getting our spot reserved, so we do appreciate them.
Oh, you're getting the spot reserved now?
Yeah, the past few weeks we've been doing that.
I want you to have the table named after the show, though. Like reserved for Fringe Fanatics podcast host and friends.
We can try that.
I just make it happen. Even if I just want you to get there first and like fold a piece of paper on the table, like a little tent, and I want you to write that on there.
It needs to happen.
It's gonna work.
We'll try.
We got to start like guerrilla warfare and getting the show out so we can get some more people into it.
Well, I did throw up a bunch of stickers in Dawn, so we are getting the name out there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we've been spending enough money there. I think that's why we got our spot reserved. I broke my record last week at the AFC Championship. I spent $175 there.
On booze?
Yeah.
Jesus. Were you buying people shots, though?
I just bought one round of shots. It was green tea shots.
Table?
It was just 4 shots. It was after the game because I didn't want to buy them beforehand if it's like going to bite me in the ass. But I was buying buckets of high noons and getting double mimosas for her. So that shit adds up
quick. Those doubles, man. They'll bite you in the ass, with drunkenness and in the wallet.
And it's totally worth it too. She took care of the Uber, and then I took care of the booze, and it was extravaganza to say the least.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Did you do anything else this weekend?
Well, yeah, we started celebrating Hannah's birthday a little early. We went and I just told you about it, the Shells and Sauce Italian restaurant there in Denver. It was really good. It was very authentic,
Authentico?
Yeah, we had this Italian waitress, so, she spoke very Italian, so it felt authentic.
That's cool.
She got some ravioli, and I got some shrimp diavolo. I love saying it because
Yeah.
it just sounds authentic.
I hope that the waitress wasn't really Italian. Like they just have to go through like a crash course in an Italian accent
Trying to
before
fake
they
it.
start working. Like, you gotta talk like you're from
Mamma
Italy.
mia!
Grazie.
Oh man, this one. I mean, she looked very Italian.
Okay.
So I don't think
She
there's any
fit the
getting
bill.
around it.
Fair
Yeah,
enough. All
definitely.
right.
So yeah, if you ever want to check it out, it's right in there in the heart of Denver. So Shells and Sauce.
Shells and sauce.
Yep.
And then her birthday was,
It was
last
yesterday.
night.
Yep.
It was also my mother's birthday.
It is. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Hannah, and my mom. Shout out, Mom.
Shout out,
You're
Chris's
the best.
mom.
You graced the world with this, so we thank you for that.
You brought Chris into the world, so thank you. Yeah.
But yeah,
What'd
so
you guys do for that?
I went. My sister's in town from Utah. Alex's mom, so she's in town through Sunday to hang out with my mom for her birthday, and then I stopped by yesterday and dropped off my mom's gift with Meryl, and we hung out for a bit, and then me and all my brothers and their girlfriends and Meryl are going over there tomorrow for like a little pizza party thing to hang out with my sister. So
Oh, that's cool.
pretty cool.
So you said you got her a Lego. What?
So I always get my mom orchids because it's kind of like a gag gift because they're really hard to keep alive.
They're very
I also
hard.
think they're just one of the cooler flowers.
Oh yeah.
So I always get her those, and then I saw Lego now has like flowers.
Oh yeah,
that
I did see that too.
You can build like there's like
Succulents and stuff
yeah,
too.
you get like a little succulent setup, and
Uh-huh.
they had an orchid one, so I got that for her, and her and my sister actually ended up putting that together today. So it was kind of cool. They ended up got to hang out and put that together.
Yeah,
so
that's pretty cool.
pretty cool.
I was really surprised when I saw it. I was like, the world's just gonna turn into Legos.
Yeah.
Well, my mom, I don't know if I mentioned for Christmas, she actually got me an Arrowhead Stadium one. That's
Oh, I saw that. You
kind
were
of-
supposed to put it together.
yeah, I've been working on
Slaughter.
it, and I think I need glasses to do it because it's not like the conventional type of Legos.
It's very small.
very, very small and
Yeah.
detailed. Like there's a couple times where I'll be putting it a piece in, and then it like springs off, and I'm like, oh, that's gone.
If it
Fuck.
springs off, Chad, I think it's because that's probably not where it goes.
No,
They're supposed to
it's
lock in
so
place,
tiny,
dude.
man. No, that's just it. Is it falls, man?
Just
Hannah texted me one day while I was at work. She was like, "I just
she
found them."
stepped on one.
Yeah, they're so small it wouldn't even hurt. But
Yeah.
it is some of the most difficult
It's
Legos.
one of
I've
those
ever
things you
put
step
together.
on, and like 3 years later, you're like, there's something going on with my foot.
Yeah.
And then you go to the doctor, and they dig out a very microscopic Lego Chief Stadium piece.
Well, it's kind of funny. On Saturday, I think it was. I was a little toasted, and
Saturday, what'd you do Saturday? Just got drunk?
Yeah, we just hung
You
out here,
lush.
played some cards. Yeah, man, that's what we do on the
Playing
weekends.
gin rummy?
Yeah, we did. We played some rummy and blackjack. Well, then when she, turned in to go have her bath, that's when I started putting Legos together, and I was a little drunker than I thought because you can't put this type of Legos together when you're a little drunk. Because I realized afterwards, I'm like, oh fuck, I skipped a page. Oh no! And if you miss one step
Yeah.
on these, like everything's thrown off. So I
Yeah.
had to go back and take things off.
We were talking about it. I guess it's been so long since I built Legos that for some reason, I feel like it's weird that you're just supposed to read the instructions and like build it as you go.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, when we were kids,
Part of me
we
would just want to
built.
like just start going. Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's what me and Meryl were talking about. Like they didn't really have like the kits and shit like they do when we were younger.
Oh.
You just had like a bucket of Legos and you built dumb shit.
It's insane how different it is from when we were
Yeah.
kids. You just got like a bucket of different blocks
Yeah.
and shapes and sizes, and now it's all branded. Where Harry Potter, Star Wars,
Yeah,
and
you're
then
building Hogwarts.
yeah, and
the
then that's
Millennium
just what's
Falcon.
nuts. That shit there's like $500.
I know. I've seen some of those too. They're even more than that, but it's like a legit, like it's like the Death Star, and it's like this fucking
huge,
big.
man.
It's just like, why?
Yeah.
Where are you gonna put that once it's done?
You display it. That's
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do with Arrowhead.
That's what I thought with the thing I got my mom. I was like, at least it's like something she can build and like display, and it's not
Yeah.
like huge. You
Yeah,
know,
it's-
it's. I think it's only like that big,
Yeah.
but
Well, it's not like an orchid that's gonna die either.
that's true. Most of the ones I've got her, she's managed to keep alive though. So
Have
and
you
they
ever
keep
seen those
blooming.
monkey orchids?
Maybe.
Yeah, there's a few different ones that it's so creepy how orchids like they grow and they really do. It looks like a monkey.
Yeah.
Swear to God. And then there's another one called the Dracula orchid, where that painting right there. That's where I got it from.
Yeah.
Because it looks kind of like a vampire-ish like orchid. They're fucking
They suck
freaky.
blood.
They might.
I don't know.
There's some carnivorous plants out there.
There are.
Yeah, well, that was a good weekend.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
But it was fun. Yeah,
the Chiefs won, so that's always a bonus.
Yeah, that's always great. But you know, it's nuts. I gotta mention, and I always tell it to her. I'm like, this is why we came together. And she's like, there's more to it than that. But like, ever since Hannah and I started dating, the Chiefs have gone to the AFC Championship at least. So
yeah.
Things have been pretty good. We got to stay together.
Yeah, it's worked out that the script writers are on that same timeline right along
Don't
with you.
even fucking get on that bullshit, man. Oh, I can't wait. When we bring in this bias buzzer here, at least you're going to be outnumbered.
Yeah, but I'm still going to bring it up.
I did warn him.
Because it's like I said when we were talking in text, if you believe that it's scripted any sort of way, even a little bit, you have to admit it's been scripted in your team's favor, and that's all I'm going to say. And once you admit that, that's all I need.
Well, I'm not going to admit it.
Well, you believe you're the one that wants to start the tinfoil hat segment as to why this NFL scripted.
There's tons of things that I want to do tinfoil hat
but
on.
Then you have
aliens?
to admit
you don't think that there's
that
aliens
it's been
in the NFL
skewed in your team's favor.
There are
for a little while.
There are no.
Yeah, I see. He doesn't want to admit it, people. He's the one that brought this up, not me.
I'm just trying
to convey that if you have that thought process, then that means if your team is in the Super Bowl, that it has to be directly correlated to that same thing.
I don't believe that one bit. I'm not going to concede to that. I'm sorry, man.
All right, well,
you're just trying to get under my fucking skin, and it ain't going to fucking happen.
Samir gets on, because I want to have you a little bit, what's it called when a horse is getting... It's like not frothed up. There's like a name for it.
Feathers getting all ruffled.
Well, yeah, your feathers are going to be. They're a little ruffled right now, but, I'll
get my dreads all ruffled, man. Come on now.
Well, that's cool, yeah. And then my weekend
tell me how the show went.
It went pretty good. We played up in Johnstown, which is like...
It's like a country town, right?
Not really. I mean, kind of. It's like in between like Berthoud and like Greeley, kind of.
Is that how you say that name? Berthoud?
Yeah.
I thought it was like Bert Hound.
Berthoud. Berthoud.
Yeah.
No, Berthoud.
So it was a good show?
Yeah, it was a pretty good show. The guy who first started recording us as the Born Readies, his name's Jamie Hillier. He still runs Modular Overload Studios, but now he's been getting this bar going out in Johnstown called Spirits Music Hall. They had a really good sound setup. It sucked because we were driving down there, and it's like all of a sudden, like fog rolls in. And, like, the temperatures just start dropping.
Whoa.
And then it snowed for, like, 3 hours.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal Saturday night.
We were like, shit, I didn't think the snow was supposed to come until Sunday. So that kind of stopped a few people from showing up, obviously. But
yeah,
there's still a decent amount of people. We made money.
Cool.
We got new shirts, so we sold a bunch of those.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, we made some bleached tie-dye black shirts.
You need to bring one of those in, and I might have to buy one of those. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. And they say out of sight.
I need to get a new shirt from you because the last one I had I've kind of gotten too fat for. So.
Oh yeah. And these ones too, they run small for some reason. I ordered adult male shirts and they're running a little small.
That happens sometimes.
I don't know.
Fucking cotton makers.
It's tough to say. So yeah, that was about all I did. Sunday I fucking crashed. I didn't get home till like it was like 1:30, and then I didn't get to sleep till like 3, and then I slept through most of the first game. After Purdy got hurt, I was like, fuck it.
Yeah, it really wasn't worth it, man.
And then I was doing shit while the other game was going on. I paid pretty good attention to it. Like I said, I didn't watch all of it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we all know what happened.
Yep.
But let's get in. We've wasted a lot of time there. Let's get into some NFL news real quick, and then we'll bring Samir on. Big news of the day. Oh, and one other thing. Let's do that leadoff shot.
I've been waiting on it, man. I've been thirsty.
That's one of the longer times we sat there bullshitting
just
for
looking at it. Just looking at it like an alcoholic, man. Like, come on.
15 minutes in, we haven't even really started.
Itching.
All right, so.
Well, we got a new whiskey.
Got tell them about it.
Monkey Shoulder.
We'll make sure to tag them and let them know what we think. We should probably talk good about it. If it
says here it's made out of real monkeys, so
monkey juice.
It's got to be good. Yeah.
Is it from Gas Monkey Garage?
What?
You don't remember that show? It was on Discovery. Gas Monkey.
I've never heard of that.
We're not going to get into it.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm talking about, you know. Anyways,
Clueless.
Here is to the latest episode of Fringe Fanatics.
Cheers.
We're here. You're here. This goes out to you as well. If you're drinking, have a shot with us.
Skål.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Smooth.
Yeah.
It's, what is it? Blended malt Scotch whiskey.
Yeah.
Monkey Shoulder. Wonder why.
It said where it was distilled. Does it say somewhere? It's got to be like Thailand or something, since it's monkeys.
I don't know why you said that.
That's where monkeys are. Like India?
I mean, they're all over aside from here, really.
Africa?
I don't know, but that's not good podcasting for me to sit here and try and read it. It's from somewhere. So
yeah, it's good whiskey. Check it out.
There's 3 monkeys on it.
Yeah, it's got a cool bottle. Sometimes I buy them because of the bottle.
Then that can work out well for you.
Or bite you in the ass.
Also, I don't know if you guys have noticed, Chad mentioned this. I should probably bring this up. Mike's Harder Anything I drink almost every episode. So if you guys are out there and I know you're watching this, Mike's, hook us up. Give me a case of these things so I don't have to keep spending money on them.
Yeah, every single week he drinks those. Yeah. I mix it up. Today I've got the Punching Mule made by Mile High Spirits here in Colorado. I love Moscow Mules, but I'm too lazy to make the whole cocktail myself. So
yeah,
it's the best one
involved.
that comes in a can. I just squirt a little lime juice in there, and then I'm good to go. But it's got to be in the copper mug.
If not, what are you even doing with your life?
Dude, it's a waste.
Yeah.
It's a total waste. So real quick right now, it is just first quarter into the Celtics and Nets game, 37-9.
Oh, my God.
I swear to God. Celtics. Holy shit.
Wait, how many minutes are left in the first quarter?
3 minutes left in the first quarter, man.
Oh, my God, dude.
I had to bring this up right now because this is
They
insane.
might score 50 in the first quarter on them.
Fuck.
They might be down 40 by the end of the first quarter.
That just goes to show you that Kyrie cannot carry a team. He needs a superstar with him.
He needed LeBron to get it done in Cleveland, and he needed KD to get it done in Brooklyn.
Yep, that's so true.
Well, we don't know that yet. That's conjecture at this point because they haven't done anything.
Look at you use those $9 words. I love it.
Yep, reading that thesaurus. Let's get into NFL news. Big news of the day. The GOAT, Mr. GOAT himself.
Big news.
Supposedly has hung it up.
Supposedly is right. I liked your post with it. It was like, maybe.
Yeah, that maybe.
Yeah.
Because this is a 1-year anniversary of the last time he
did
retired.
it on the exact day. Yeah. He did it look like on a beach or something, and you could tell by the end of it he was really trying to hold back the tears. Regardless how you feel about the man, I had a hard time watching First Take this today just because all they did is talk about it. I get it. He's the GOAT.
It's hard because we already did this once.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they did it just a year ago.
It's hard to be like, oh my God. Like, I watched the video. I was like, okay, that's cool. It seemed heartfelt.
Yeah.
The main thing I was thinking, though, do you think that was one take? And then secondly, how many people do you think walked by and just randomly saw Tom Brady sitting on a beach filming his retirement video?
You don't think he lives on a private beach, maybe?
But I don't, maybe.
Yeah, I think
you're probably right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there might have been some passerbys. It's like, is that Tom Brady?
It could be.
Is he crying on that rock over there? He is. He must be retiring again.
Well, it's a good thing that he can just go and hang out with his family now.
You know what, though? I did want to bring up a little bit. What?
But he can't go hang out with his family. Because
not really.
They don't like him right now.
I mean, his kids probably still like him.
I don't want to make jokes about
Giselle's
that.
already got like a new boyfriend. I saw him riding horses.
Yeah, he's a handsome fella.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he probably doesn't have a lot of plastic surgery like Tom Brady.
No, or just children blood, whatever it is that keeps him looking.
Seriously, man. Like the pictures of him kissing his son on the lips.
Oh my God, I know you want to get into it. It's the weirdest stuff ever. Kissing your kids is one thing, but the way he does it, I'm like, that kid's gonna have some problems.
It's like some Eyes Wide Shut shit, dude. That's seriously what I think.
Strange.
Yeah. But
what I did want to bring up though, and maybe this is a little bit of a conspiracy theory, isn't it weird how after Sean Payton leaves Fox and becomes the Broncos head coach, the next day Tom Brady retires?
Yeah.
I mean, he's already signed whatever that crazy fucking, was he making like $20 million a year to be on Fox as an analyst?
It's I think a 10-year, like $350 million.
Yeah, some insane amount of money.
I really hope he doesn't go.
So
to the
it did seem
booth,
kind of weird because Fox, I mean, they basically lose one of their big, analysts, and then Tom Brady already has a deal, and then now he leaves, big spot opens.
They did announce that he won't be making any appearances on the Super Bowl because Fox will be the ones airing the Super Bowl this year.
Who won't be? Brady?
Yeah, he won't be making an appearance because now like the opportunity's there for him to like just go ahead and step into that role.
No, they're not gonna. He's gonna wait till next year.
I hope he doesn't even go into the booth, man. His
He's
personality
going to.
is like I don't care. I just no, I'm good. I hope he does.
It's gonna happen. It's already happened. They signed him to a big deal, so it's
we
gonna
can always
happen.
cross our fingers and hope that
You're
doesn't.
gonna see him.
But you got to realize now
every week
too that since Tom Brady retired, it's definite proof now that Aaron Rodgers will be trying to continue his career because there's no
just
way.
opened up so many more opportunities from which we could get into later. We'll see how it goes.
But the thing of it is there's no way he wants to be in that same Hall of Fame class as Tom Brady because he's always going to be known as the runner-up to Tom Brady.
Always, yeah.
Yep.
Well, I mean, they both would go in probably.
Oh, they would, but it's like he's in that shadow like his whole career basically.
But one thing I did want to say about him, because the guy did technically have 3 Hall of Fame careers in one career.
Yep.
In his 20s, 21,564 passing yards, 147 passing touchdowns, and 3 Super Bowl wins. In his 30s, 40,018 passing yards, 309 touchdowns, 2 Super Bowl wins. And then again in his 40s, 27,632 passing yards, 193 passing touchdowns, and 2 Super Bowl wins. Dude, so many quarterbacks would kill to have just one of those.
Just one decade of
just
those.
One
man.
of those decades.
It's unbelievable, man. It's just the teams he was on. And then what was brought up a lot today on, ESPN and other sources was just that, like, it is proof that Belichick needed Brady. He proved that.
Yeah, he
really
definitely came out, and look at what's happened. It's 2 different trajectories. The Patriots have basically flattened out. Granted, they did make the playoffs last year, but they miss out this year, and they don't look good. And everybody's saying, what the hell are you doing, Bill Belichick, with your coordinator, having 2 offensive coordinators? I don't know what that was about. But, yeah, Brady, I'm glad it's over.
I think we can put aside all of the, maybe because as soon as we heard about the Brock Purdy news with him being out 6 months, everybody speculated.
Maybe.
I even thought, like,
maybe
Brady could go there, but now that he's done this, and I even said, too, like, when all the Vegas rumors are going around, I was like, no, he's going to retire. I've said it here on the show, and, yeah, it's just the way he ended that last season, he knew it would be selfish for him to bring that poor play to any other team.
You can't say it was poor play, Chad. He was top 3 in passing. You can't say poor play, unfortunately. You can't.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, you can't, but still.
He literally could have went, and there was multiple teams who would have gladly taken his services.
You got to think about this,
though.
That's just stats. I mean, you got to understand there's a lot of times that's just garbage time.
But, dude, that team had fallen apart. They got all, hopped up on their laurels of winning the Super Bowl. Yep. There was multiple reports in the beginning of the year. The defense said there was guys who didn't care anymore because they already won, basically.
Yeah.
And then you look at them firing the OC. I mean, the shit with Arians. There was a lot of shit that happened that I think a lot of people saw the writings on the wall.
Yep.
And they knew what was going to happen this year because the team went up. They went down. But I'm not going to sit here and let you say that it was a terrible year for Brady. It wasn't a good year. It wasn't his best year.
He did rack up a lot of yards, but how many of those ended in field goals? Look up and how many field goals Ryan Suckup made. And he was the one getting all the points.
But he's still 45 years old.
45 years old doing that.
The average age of the quarterbacks in the playoffs was 25.7 or something like that.
25.3.
Mahomes was the old man.
Yeah. That
still
nuts.
is.
Yeah, he still is, man. It's crazy.
He's also making $34 million more than Jalen Hurts this year.
You see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's quite a big difference. Right there. Jalen Hurts is making 1.6 million. Yeah, in the offseason he's getting.
I don't know if it'll be if they win the Super Bowl, it will. If they lose, they might ride it out another year. Burrow's about to get paid though. They're saying that's imminent.
Chase.
Yeah.
And Higgins is either going to get paid
or gone.
Franchise tagged or gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing that sucks, I didn't look at what the franchise tags were. I saw that came out the other day where they had a list of what every position franchise tag would be.
I think the quarterback now is 40 mil. I think it's
got to be up there.
Because, I mean, Kirk Cousins and all these guys, Rodgers making 45.
Yeah,
it's at least 40.
Everybody. But, yeah, so that's pretty wild.
Should we get into the good news of your I guess, let's just finish this off. Congratulations.
Yeah, good job, Tom Brady.
You're
really good at football.
It was right around the time I started watching football around like 01. I think I was in 6th grade. That's about the time I was old enough to start watching football and understanding it pretty well. and watching it every week, and
Yeah.
wasting away all my Sundays. But
And now look at us. We do homework on it.
exactly. But we got to see that whole career, so pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, I remember him coming in. Yeah, it's been crazy to watch.
Yeah, because you think about it, I really got the last little bit of Michael Jordan. Yeah, we got him on the Wizards and stuff, but I was too young to remember him in his peak years.
I remember watching a couple games, but I didn't care about basketball. Basketball was never a big sport to me growing up. It was always baseball and football.
Oh yeah.
And then it wasn't until later that I started getting into basketball, and I was like,
wow.
I fucking love basketball.
That's cool.
Yeah, but I was never good at basketball. I never played basketball that much, other than playground stuff.
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, I just never did. I did a free throw competition once.
Did you?
Yeah. I don't remember how I did. I don't think I did very
3
good.
in a row, maybe?
No, I did more than that. But yeah, it
That's
wasn't
cool.
that good. But yeah, let's move on to the other big news in the NFL, the coaches that have been hired and those that have not been fired but maybe should have.
Yeah.
So the big news, since I think this is before we recorded last week or after, was Frank Reich getting hired in Carolina.
Yeah, I think this is after we.
Yeah, so that was the first big coaching hire.
That was a big mistake by Carolina. I think that was such a stupid hire.
Yeah, and then you see what happened with D'Amico and become all of a sudden he became the top candidate.
He should have been too. I was saying it for most of the year.
Yeah, and that it was surprising to kind of hear, and it's so hard to get any sort of straight answers from what's coming out of the Broncos and what's been reported, especially when you have Schefter and what's his name? God damn it.
Ian Rappaport.
Rappaport reporting completely different things about what was going on.
I was so confused. I was telling people yesterday morning, the Peyton and the Broncos have had disagreements. I look like an idiot.
No, that was reported multiple times.
Yeah.
That was so crazy about this whole thing. But everybody's freaking out about how long it's taken. Nobody's really hired coaches until this week. Yeah. I mean, Reich was the first one to fall off the board, but you look at it now, and it's right after Peyton comes out and they say what's going on, then D'Amico goes off the board because D'Amico was at a meeting. What was it? 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, 2 days ago. D'Amico was in the Texans. According to the Broncos, they said when his group and his people told them that they were going to go to Houston first, and then the Broncos said, we're not second fiddle. Go to Houston.
Oh, wow.
They played it off like that, I think, because they wanted to power move it because they knew he wasn't going to leave Houston.
Yeah.
The guy played there. He's the second highest. He has a second rated in tackles all time in Houston.
Oh, damn.
His wife's from Houston. He's building a house in Houston to go live full time.
See,
basically.
I didn't know all this.
Also, another weird thing where a lot of people thought a hang-up was with Houston is that he did sue Houston and is still going through litigation for that for $10 million for getting hurt on their field and blowing out his ACL.
No way.
So everybody's
back when he played?
Yeah, it's still going on.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, you gotta think he quit playing 5 or 6 years ago. It wasn't that long ago.
Well,
He's only been coaching for 4 years. But I guess
awkward.
On Thursday they had a meeting with him in Denver, and he blew him away. And I think he became Greg Penner's favorite, the main guy now in the ownership group. I think he became his favorite, and that kind of the Harbaugh thing. I don't know. You hear from Michigan, he said he was coming back. You hear from the Broncos, they told him no.
Well, I've heard reports that Michigan is now facing, and Harbaugh is now facing allegations, different type of violations when it comes to NCAA things.
Yeah, and that's I think initially they really wanted Harbaugh because Penner, his wife, and Condoleezza Rice, all Stanford graduates. Condoleezza Rice has picked Jim Harbaugh for Stanford to be the coach. She's been a part of the last few Stanford hiring cycles and coaches before now becoming the part owner of the Broncos. So she's been there. So everybody's like, that's where they're going is John Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't end up happening. I honestly think that thing that leaked out about them going back to talk to him was to show the Saints, we will hire somebody else if you don't drop the price.
Oh, wow.
Because when you look at it, so they're hiring Peyton. I heard it's $17 million a year, which none of that counts against the cap.
For those of you that don't know, Sean Payton has now been hired by the
I
Broncos.
guess I haven't really said that yet.
Yeah, just to make it official.
Yeah, so yeah, we now have a new head coach in Sean Payton.
Yep, Super Bowl winning head coach for the Saints. What was it, 2011?
Yeah, 15 years as the coach of the Saints. He only had 2 9-7 seasons as like his low points.
Yeah,
or were they 7 and 9? 7 and
pretty
9.
much
2
made
7
Drew
and 9.
Brees. Yeah, made Drew Brees a Super Bowl winning quarterback and a Hall of Fame quarterback, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. And what they had to give up though, and I think what the hanging point was the draft picks. They end up losing the pick they traded for Bradley Chubb from Miami, which came from San Francisco. So with San Francisco losing this weekend, it became the 29th pick, which is basically a glorified second-round pick. So they lose a high second-round pick, and then they swap picks next year, and that's basically what happened. So you basically traded Bradley Chubb, and a second-round pick became a third-round pick to get Sean Payton. They already are kind of screwed with first- and second-round picks, though, with Russell. They didn't have a first-round pick until that Bradley Chubb trade, so they're 13th with what they have in salary cap, and with the cap just going up, I think that might have bumped them up maybe to like 12th. I don't know for sure, but they have money. They're going to be signing a lot of free agents. You're going to see a lot of movement there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got a new coach. And then, like I said, D'Amico went to Houston. So they also got a new coach, and I think it worked out for everybody. I think I wanted Harbaugh just because I thought that's better for the overall culture of the team. I like Sean Payton, though, because you're realizing that you've invested this much in Russell. You've got to try and fix him. And I think Sean Payton was the best coach to try and fix Russell and salvage this fucking terrible trade at this point and do something with it. Because in 2 years, you really could cut Russell and eat a salary cap of like $70 million. Yeah. I mean, it's going up every year. It's going to suck, but if he's not fixable, you have an out. Sean Payton, I think his deal is 5 years. So
what I've heard, the big deal here is when it's any other coach, even if it was Harbaugh, it's Russ and Harbaugh. Because Russ is such a big personality and such a big name now, and ego, kind of. You know, now it's
weirdly,
Peyton and Russ. Peyton's up here because he carries so much. You know, he's a loud guy. He doesn't. It's not like he carries himself loud.
Yeah.
But his resume is so big, it outweighs Russ's. Yeah, I would say so. And
and Russ looks up to him because of what he did with Breeze. Breeze was basically, you know, a throwaway from the Chargers after they drafted Rivers because of his shoulder.
Yep.
Peyton saw what he saw in him, brings him in, and then next thing you know, first ballot Hall of Famer.
Breaking records. Yeah. You know.
But is that possible with Russ? Maybe. I don't know. I think Russ had a very humbling experience this year.
I think he's going to be better next year. I do.
I think it's possible he's in running for comeback player of the year, especially now that they don't limit it to injury, just because of how bad it was. I mean, if you sneak into the playoffs and he doubles his touchdowns and, you know, cuts his interceptions in half, well, you're going to be there.
Where I'm praying they add another award next year and have a most improved and then a comeback player.
It's just like overdue. They need to have an MVP and they need to have a Cy Young, Tom Brady, if you will, QB award.
Because the MVP will always go to the QB.
But that's what's stupid. So,
one more thing on Peyton. You know, one thing that was really cool of him, or just really known of him in New Orleans, is like he basically ran the show down there.
Yeah.
Defense, that's why he took the fall for Bounding Gate, even though he said he didn't know about that. But also GM. Like, he really does. He can run everything and run it well. And so that's what they need here, because in the Broncos sort of things, think about, I mean, they missed out on Mahomes. They missed out on Josh Allen. They've missed out on so many good draft picks because of bad GM play.
That's what makes me wonder if Peyton is going to be around. Everybody's saying they're going to wait till after the draft to fire him, which I don't get why you would do that. I guess that's a typical thing to do.
And Peyton, man.
Yeah.
How ironic. Did you think about this, though? Like, they had Peyton Manning as a Manning. Peyton Manning as a
3 Peytons.
And what's the deal with Peyton?
All different spellings.
Yeah, right? Fucking weird. But I'm happy for you guys, because
we'll see what happens, dude. There's a long way to go to make it right. But
you guys have played the Chiefs tough every year. It's not like it's ever a cakewalk, but now
that's what sucks. This last game we went to was about the only one that was a blowout. and then it turned into a close game. And it is sad that it's like every time we play you guys, we don't lose by much.
Super close.
Unless it pulls away at the end.
Even in Kansas City, it almost went down to overtime.
We got a long ways to go to catch up. So let us move on. Call Samir, make it happen.
Oh, wait, hold on. I just want to cover the last one. I know it's just offensive coordinator, but it's really big news, especially in the AFC West. Kellen Moore to the Chargers. He got fired. I believe he quit, parted ways, and it's so shitty.
I think his contract was up. I think.
I didn't hear about that, but what I've heard is Jerry Jones basically told Mike McCarthy, it's either you or somebody else.
Yeah, but then after that game, that was so stupid because he comes out and he's like, I want Mike McCarthy to be like Tom Landry.
Yeah.
I want him to coach here for blah, 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 blah.
And all this. But think about this.
That's what I wanted to bring up is because Staley and McCarthy both should not have jobs.
No.
And the fact, and here's how you know as soon as you knew they were going to keep it is because somebody else gets fired. So in San Diego, in Los Angeles, they scapegoat the OC.
It's so fucked up, man. And this is the first year we've seen this because most years on Black Monday, the Monday after the season ends, we see 6 to 7 different coaches fired.
I'm telling you, it's because of the meeting with the owners where the NFL came out and said you're spending too much money on people you're firing.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you see it's taken this is the longest it's ever taken for coaches to be hired after Black Monday. Yeah. Usually it's like someone's fired Black Monday, by Wednesday you've got people getting hired, and it took a whole week.
It's a way different year, and they're taking a little more time to hire these guys.
Because when you're blowing $800 million on people that don't work for you, and I don't know if you saw this too, Matt Rule came out today, and he's going into arbitration with the Panthers for like $5 million, even though he went and got signed by Nebraska for like I think like 10, 20 million more than what he was going to make with the Panthers.
I don't understand all of the contract,
it's
logistics
stupid.
of that. But
I always thought, and that's what we talked about on the show at one point, was when he got fired was when Nebraska picked up his contract and signed him, that nullified all the money that he was owed. But he's saying he's owed $5 million, so I don't know.
While at this time we got what's his face in fucking Thailand, just fucking Cliff
Kingsbury. He's one-way ticket with his super hot girlfriend, just hanging out in Thailand,
living it up in Phuket.
You know what? I'm getting paid. I think till like 2027. I think I might just fucking hang out and eat this money up.
They call it the land of smiles, I guess. Like Thailand.
I believe it. And ladyboys.
Yeah, that is
which
true.
I think technically now is not a PC term, so I'm sorry, everybody.
Kind of surprised you used that.
I'm getting canceled.
Well, either way, I was pretty worried when I saw Kellen Moore go there, and it's an upgrade for him because to me, he realized, okay, fine, you want to get rid of me? I don't want to sit here and coach Dak, who throws away the ball constantly.
I think he realized Dak's reached his potential.
Exactly.
And I think you will see the Cowboys looking for a younger QB to come in. I don't know. They're going to be picking high, so I don't know what they're going to do. But I think you'll see that maybe second, third round take a QB to come in. And
maybe they bring in another veteran or something to try to help them out. But either way,
Rodgers.
I said it last year. I had them picked in my AFC Championship, but I thought the Chargers would be a lot better. And I really thought Joe Lombardi and Staley were the issues. So if Staley's still there calling, fourth, going forward on fourth and goal or, fourth down on their own territory, then, they're still digging their own grave. But Joe Lombardi was the reason Justin Herbert had an average pass attempt of 4.3 or something like that.
Yeah.
He wouldn't let him open up the playbook. But with Kellen Moore, I'm a little worried about the Chargers now.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, this is basically his last shot. You've got now the best, or the best up-and-coming quarterback in the league that isn't already, solidified.
Yeah.
Which is going to be Herbert. And the next, because Burrow kind of passed him up. But, yeah, this is it for Kellen Moore. If you can't do it with him, then
that's it.
We'll see what happens.
He'll probably go coach in college.
And then real quick on coordinators, Fangio might be back in Denver.
Well, Denver or San Fran. I didn't hear Denver.
Well, he was always rumored to be with Peyton because when Peyton first came out, he said Fangio is my DC, and then the whole shit came out in Miami with Fangio saying, well, Miami saying he's agreed in principle to become the DC, and then he immediately comes out, he's like, I never said that.
I know. I thought that was surprising.
I think he was waiting for some dominoes to fall.
Yeah, because that's what I heard is
how weird would that be? When was the last time you remember somebody getting fired as a head coach and being the fucking any sort of coordinator the next year?
Yeah.
It's weird.
It's not often.
Dude, we've gone way too long. We need to get Samir in here.
Yeah. We told him 10 minutes ago.
And it's been like 20, 30 minutes.
Pretty much 40 minutes ago.
Let's get him in here. We've got the biased buzzer beater. Samir, our good buddy, is going to come back and fill us in on how great the Chiefs are. Yep. And then I'm going to get them both going because I'm an instigator.
Well, let's just remind fans real quick. Last week, Chris, who did you pick in that AFC Championship?
Oh, well, I did pick the Bengals, and then I lost both times last week because I lost the whiskey wager, and I had the Bengals picked. But the whiskey wager's kind of a toss-up because of the fact that Purdy got hurt. But
I did say that
I'll
was
take my
null and
lumps.
void. You know, I'll do a shot with you because I love doing shots.
Yeah,
but
basically the whiskey wager is just a reason for us both to take a shot again.
Nothing wrong with that. I do love winning them, though. But yeah, when a big quarterback like that goes down, I do call it null and void. So
yeah, because that game was a game that should have been better than it was.
I think it would have been.
Tell Alexa. Sound like my fucking dad. Tell Alexis to call, what's her name?
Remember, don't do that again.
I know. That's why I said Alexis.
Hey, Alexa. Call Samir.
Calling Samir.
Nice, it worked. Fucking
it was so funny that first time I fucked it all
I know. It like played music one time too.
Yeah, that's because I told him to do something.
Here, don't talk. I'll talk first.
Dude, don't hush me like that.
He's not gonna pick up. No, that's gonna.
Hello.
Samir.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. Sorry, man. I know we said like 10 minutes, and then we started, doing what we do, ranting about.
Yeah. You've gone on a bunch of tangents, man.
Sean Payton going to the Broncos and all that, so we got rolling. But we got you on here now.
It's gonna be a really interesting offseason. I'm excited.
Yeah, it should be a damn good one. But Samir, we got to talk about it because it's your time to shine here. I'm gonna put 2 minutes on this clock here. And we're going to let you get to ripping and a-roaring on your Chiefs because you and Chad had quite the day at Don's on Sunday.
When did your voice come back, Samir? Is it back yet?
Well, we're getting there. I'm still a little bit, hoarse, but I can feel, the tissue slowly.
It's healing. Yeah, that's good.
I'm starting to really get worried about, like, when I'm 45 or 50, like if I'm doing this weekly, I'm gonna sound like this.
Yeah, like an old smoker Yiddish lady in New York.
On one of those devices in my throat.
My name's Chad.
You're on the vocal, so if you ever need a really good baritone, that's where to go.
There you go.
Yep, it'll be us.
All right, Samir, I'm gonna give you a countdown from 3, and then you can get to ripping and a roaring. All right, man. 3, 2, 1, make it happen.
So Chiefs, Bengals, round 4, and we got the Chiefs coming up 23-20. Story of the game was defense taking advantage of a hurt Bengals offensive line. Joe Burrow, 26 of 41, 270, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, which is not very Joe Shiesty-like. And Chiefs defense just started all off. Managed to put the Bengals receiver under 100 yards. And mind you, we talked last time, that Bengals receiving corps is too good. So the fact that we managed to shut that down along with the run, we came to play at Burrowhead, so to speak. On the other side of the ball, Patty Mahomes with a hobbled ankle, Kelsey with back spasms, Juju going out, Kadarius Toney going out, Mecole going out. We only have MVS, who just destroyed Mike Hilton and Eli Apple throughout the entire game. And, I really have to swing it back here. Brett Veach did an absolutely amazing job drafting these players and having them step in arguably the biggest game of their lifetime currently right now, because Trent McDuffie had 6 tackles for pass breakups. Karlaftis got a sack. You had Sky Moore, who was absolutely god-awful with punts, come back with a huge clutch return. Pass breakups from Brian Cook, interceptions from Watson and Williams, and Pacheco closing it out with 85 total yards. From first round to 7th round, don't ever disbelieve in Veach, ever. Because in Veach we trust always. He picked up some of the best players, and they stepped up in the most important times when everybody was hurt. Snead was out. Willie Gay was out. We had the young secondary going up against the best wide receiver core. I'm telling you right now, this team is just too good. And Joe did great. The Bengals did as as best they could. Unfortunately, not as good.
And that's it, Samir. You did a damn good job again, man.
That was good. Nice recap, man.
Definitely.
But I mean, I really don't want to undersell because the Bengals, they're really good. They just had Tyler Boyd going out halfway through. It was just inopportune with their offensive line as well.
I definitely think they got too full of themselves and they poked the bear.
I think that's
they were running their mouths too much and they got shut the hell down. But you're right. I was glad you pointed out at least that the Bengals offensive line was a shell of itself. The fact they made it through the last game the way they did, almost in dominating fashion, was surprising. But then, yeah, they definitely got shut down. Jones was a beast in this game. Everywhere, double teams, didn't matter. I think he was double teamed on like 80% of his snaps.
Yeah.
Still getting pressures.
That man came to play.
Yeah.
Arguably the best Chiefs game he's ever played.
Who ended up getting MVP? Was it Mahomes? Of the AFC Championship?
Do they do an MVP?
I thought they did.
I don't think they do.
I don't think. I mean, Chris Jones would have easily.
He should have been.
So I did hear something today that was the best, I think, playoff game or a conference game by an interior lineman in history, as he had 10
pressures were insane. Yeah,
10 pressures in the game, 2 sacks, and 3 tackles for losses. The guy showed up.
Incompletions.
What was that?
Like, I mean, he caused like 5 incompletions.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just pushing the pocket back.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. No, I think to your point, Chris, I think that Mike Hilton saying Burrowhead and then that whole thing just being on the bulletin boards throughout the entire week, it was for sure a fire that got lit underneath the guys, and it was like we can't let this happen 4 times in a row. And I think the cards were definitely stacked against us, along with Mahomes being injured and Kelsey showing up on the injury report minutes later before the game starts. So it was just it was a little rocky, but I mean, we somehow managed the way. And I do want to say to all the salty fans in the NFL, the refs did not cause the Bengals to lose that game.
Thank you.
Caused the Bengals to lose that game.
Well, Cy caused them to lose that game.
On both sides. But at the same time, when it all came down to it, 3rd downs, and when we want to talk about
5th downs, 4th downs,
convert any points to, come on, guys. Come on.
You're exactly right, man. You're exactly right. That's all I've heard. Chris's nephew came at me today, who's a Bengals fan, saying, oh, well, it's a good thing the refs helped you get to the Super Bowl. You know what I said to him? I said, if my team, who was pretty much all healthy, 90% on offense with the offensive line, defense, let a team that lost those wide receivers, the 2 defensive starters, you didn't even mention Willie Gay.
Oh, but don't forget the Bengals lost one of their top cornerbacks in the very beginning of the game.
No, but that's just it. If people forget, Burrow had the ball twice in the 4th quarter to possibly go make a play, but he didn't.
Yeah.
Well, because there was that weird, which
I watched that intentional grounding.
I'm not going to say
no.
I was giving Chad shit just to be a dick. It's not the official's fault. But there were calls that were very questionable. Sorry, Samir. There was calls that were very questionable on both sides. I mean, there was multiple holdings as far as I saw on the Mahomes run that set up, that converted that. Was it a 3rd down, 3rd and 8 or something like that? I can't remember.
3rd and 3, I think it was.
Yeah, there was multiple holdings there.
3rd and 4 for the penalty.
Yeah.
That specifically, because when I saw that play,
it should have been offsetting penalties.
And then you started seeing Hall of Fame offensive linemen like Joe Thomas come out and say the tackle didn't hold, the guard didn't hold and they went specifically into the dynamics of what the rushers were doing.
Yeah.
Apparently, holding calls are totally viable if a defensive player is performing a rip move, which is what the tackle was doing against Trey Smith on that 3rd and 4 play, which eventually, led Patrick to get out into the sidelines and then eventually get that penalty call on.
Yeah.
It was very suspect in overall because the Chiefs had 2 touchdowns that got called back from very ticky-tacky.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so it was just there's a lot of things going back, and it's just going to be even more annoying because we got Carl Shepard in the Kelsey Bowl now.
Yeah, that's not very good. The one thing I did want to bring up though was the Oh, shit. Well, like Chad was starting to talk about it, the intentional grounding.
Well,
which-
I went back and rewatched that today, and the ball did end up at P. Ryan's feet because that's what you said Sunday.
It looked like
But
it bounced past
when he
the
threw
line
it,
of scrimmage.
The ball, correct me if I'm wrong, it has to be 5 yards within a wide receiver, right? Right?
5 yards.
I think so.
He was clearly 5 yards away. The ball rolled to P. Ryan.
Yeah.
So, and then that play that you were talking about, everybody's making such a hoopla about, that didn't even end in points, where we got to replay that 3rd and 9. We can clearly see the replay where the ref is running on the field.
All I could say is, like, 2 weeks ago, there was a ref that ran in and damn near blocked a field goal to stop it from happening, and there was not much made to stop that play from happening. And then there was a questionable call right after that then extended it.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Don't talk over each
I'm
other.
sorry.
Go ahead, Samir.
Oh, my bad.
No, you're good. You're good. You
You can't hear as good as we can, so it's
Yeah.
very easy for me
And
to
since
talk
you're
over
not
you.
here, it gets tough.
Yeah.
We'll make that happen
Sure,
soon.
that's true. Yeah, but like let's say for that 3rd down that we replayed, if we got a 1st down, we still would have had to replay that down. So like it, for the fact that we managed not to convert says something. But even if we did convert, it would have still said, all right, we still got to do this 3rd down again, even if we did convert it. So
Yeah.
The whole if aspect of that is always it is interesting to think about,
But then there was the questionable call that extended that drive immediately after those 2 third downs.
Not on that. Which
There
one?
was a penalty right after that.
That drive stalled. We punted on that drive.
I thought there was oh shit! I thought there was
Remember,
another.
You were cleaning the house.
Oh, that's right. It was. Son of a
it
bitch.
was 4th down. Like it was a crucial 3rd down that it was a holding defensive pass interference that Eli Apple got called with NBS.
Yeah. Maybe
But-
that was it. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, but this is something I want to bring up too because it just keeps getting brought up. And did you see Colin Coward's breakdown of this? I thought he did maybe one of the best
he's
jobs.
not a very reputable source.
Oh, come on. He's pretty good. But
Remind me what he's done again.
he's been a sports reporter for 20, 30 years.
Exactly.
Yeah. But one thing he brought up is just, the Bengals had multiple chances. Refs or not, put that aside. They had multiple chances to come back and win this game. Mahomes was throwing to Marcus Kemp. Marcus Kemp has, before this game, 19 career tackles,
Yep.
4 career catches. He has quadruple the amount of tackles that he does
Beauty
catches.
is playing special teams.
Well, that's just it. He steps in there in a big moment, and Mahomes is throwing to guys that were signed up to the active roster just a couple weeks ago, and he makes a crucial 3rd down catch.
Speaking of which, how healthy are these receivers going to be for the Super Bowl? Do we know?
Apparently today they were at limited practice with Mecole, Juju, and Legarius, which, that's with how badly they got hurt. I think the only correction. Willie Gay was limited practice along with Mecole Hardman. Everybody else was
Full go.
did not practice.
Did not. Oh, okay.
So I did see something that Willie Gay, it wasn't, the x-rays showed that it's not that serious. The only one they're a little worried about is, because I saw Juju, you saw this where he was celebrating afterwards.
Yeah.
There's no way they would be worried about him not playing if he's out there jumping around.
Well, and the
stuff.
thing is, too, you've got 2 weeks, basically. So
Yeah. But McColl,
Right.
I'd be fine if we go with that. I'd rather have Tony in there, to be honest. I love
Yeah.
McColl, nothing against him. That's just how I feel about it. But
I would
Snead,
just like to see them both on the field. That's all.
of
I would
course.
Like to see them both
Yeah.
on the field for once and see the havoc we can create with that.
yeah. The Snead one I'm a little worried about because if you remember, Samir, there were multiple games, even just in the past couple months, where Snead got his bell rocked pretty good and then came back in the game. And now to leave a game with concussion, I'm worried that there's maybe some long-term kind of things they're worried about with him now with that concussion and that's just what we talked about. That's just poor tackling. You don't lead with your head. I learned that in high school. You just don't
you got
do
a
that.
helmet on. It's a weapon.
Yeah.
Well, luckily, unfortunately for Legarius, he's not a quarterback, so the NFL doesn't really care about concussion protocol.
Good point.
Unless you play
dude.
offense.
Very good
Yeah.
point. Hey, then last thing to recap this game, we got to mention Harrison butt kicker, man, coming through and hitting the game winner
Yeah.
when we worried about him all year long. Was it Tommy? Was he hurt? What's going on here? When they got him set up for that 45-yarder, I really wasn't that worried.
Yeah. I guess, it was, this year was probably the most suspect for Harrison, probably, when it all started off in Glendale. Now he's going back in there. Hopefully he has a little bit of a redemption arc, for this upcoming game. But, he definitely stepped it up, especially when we needed him, especially with all the stuff that he's just been dealing with this whole season. So huge shouts out to number 7.
Yeah, that was big.
Yeah, it's hard to kick in those climate-controlled, closed-in stadiums, you know? No wind, perfect condition the whole time. It's tough.
That's where he got injured, man. Hopefully because it's the Super Bowl, I hope they
have
step
real
in
grass.
And
so you
make
can't say it's turf. It's real grass.
No, but the Phoenix is notorious for having Glendale, whatever, having one of the worst fields in the league.
I don't know how. It's like state of the art. That shit rolls outside every day and rolls back in to get sunlight.
That's just it. If you roll it in and out every day, it's not going to get embedded in the ground.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Oh
Samir,
God.
I'm sorry you had to listen to that.
That's how growing and grass works, dude. Oh, my God. Obviously, this guy's not a landscaper. Jesus.
Oh, my God. We are off the rails.
That's great.
Well, Samir, we appreciate you coming back on, man. We will have you in here soon, live. We were hoping to get our new setup going tonight, but it's probably going to be next week. That's why we didn't have you in live, but hopefully here in a couple weeks we'll be able to. When you were talking about that Philadelphia win in the Super Bowl.
That's right. Kelsey Bowl.
Yeah, at least one of the Kelseys win.
Boarding it all, so we'll see what happens. It'll be an interesting matchup. I'm excited.
Yeah, same here, man. That was a lot of fun at Don's, man. How epic was that?
Oh man, dude, absolutely crazy. The energy is just always so lively, and it's going to be even more crazy with this game coming up. So it'll be nice. I'm just really glad we got our spot reserved. Shout out to Dom.
That's right, man. That's right. We were just talking about that. We're royalty nowadays.
It's a bloodbath out there, man. Let me tell you.
It is. It got pretty busy. Well, thanks for coming on, Samir. I really appreciate it, man. You do a great job. Very expertise analysis.
Indeed.
You guys still keep killing it. Very much appreciated. And I'll see you guys when I see you. Take care.
Indeed,
right,
man. Have a good one. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
See you, man.
Later. Well, that was Samir, and that's hopefully all you have to hear about the Chiefs for the rest of this episode.
Definitely not going to happen.
Well, let's get on to the other game. We'll take a quick break. There's not much to talk about the other game. Philadelphia versus San Fran. Philly absolutely hammers San Fran 31-7. This was the whiskey wager. So, Chad, while I talk about this real quick, go ahead and fill those up.
It was kind of a bummer game. I mean, honestly, I thought about it when we were going to break it down. I didn't really write much because it just was such a letdown.
I didn't even write anything about it early either.
We eventually had Christian McCaffrey taking wildcat snaps. It was just such a letdown because if you guys didn't catch it earlier, we mentioned it was on the 6th snap of the game. Brock Purdy, Hassan Reddick came in like
totally
bad
free.
out of hell.
Just totally free.
That dude had a sack right before that, I think,
Yeah.
or caused. I can't remember what. Maybe that was the play he caused the fumble. I think,
Yeah.
yeah. But either way, hits his arm and it tears his UCL joint completely. He's gonna have to have surgery. He's gonna get a second opinion, but probably gonna have to have surgery. Out 6 months at least.
I mean, thankfully, it's your standard Tommy John, which is what all the baseball pitchers have. But since you're not throwing an 11-ounce baseball 100 miles per hour, you're throwing a much heavier football. The amount of torque on the arm isn't nearly as much. So instead of it being a year-long process, it's only going to be 6 months.
Yeah.
He should be ready even if he gets surgery by training camp to start throwing and stuff. If he doesn't have to get surgery, which they're hoping for, he could be back to normal in like 3 to 4 months. But this game, it like he said, 6 snaps in, you have Brock Purdy go out, so they're pretty much screwed. Josh Johnson, who was the Broncos' backup quarterback in training camp and third-string quarterback to start the year.
I think he's played on every team.
He has. I'm going to run it down for you.
All right, let's hear it.
In 2000, this is when it starts. In 2008, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, San Francisco 49ers in 2012, the Sacramento Mountain Lions in 2012, Cleveland Browns in 2012, Cincinnati Bengals in 2013, 49ers in 14, Bengals in 15, Jets in 15, Colts in 15, Bills in 15, Ravens in 16, Giants in 16, Texans in 17, Raiders in 18, Redskins in 18, Lions in 19, 49ers again 2020 to 2021, Jets in 21, Baltimore Ravens 21, Denver Broncos 22, and the San Francisco 49ers now.
Damn.
He's on his way to play on every single football team in the NFL and possibly the Canadian Football League, maybe the Indoor League if it was still around. But yeah, once that happened, they were screwed. There was no hope. They're already on their third string quarterback who, through all intents and purposes, has gone so far above and beyond what was ever expected of him. The
Such
fact
a good
to get
story.
him to the championship game, that in and of itself is a story of the year, if you will. But it was such a bummer. 6 plays in, he's down, and their chances are basically over. It was pretty close till then too. I mean, it was like 7-7. Even after he went out, they kept it close for a little bit.
I was going
to
say,
boom.
To get into it a little, there was, after he got hurt, the 49ers scored that touchdown, and they forced 3 straight punts.
Yeah.
And that really kind of shocked me that, okay, the defense is really going to step up here and maybe save the day, but, the Eagles, their run game is too strong. Their offensive line's probably the best.
Their defensive line, oh my God. Yeah. I think at one point they had 5 guys on the field all lined up on the line of scrimmage who accounted for 67 sacks this year on one play. All 5 of them across the line of scrimmage. And you don't know which one's dropping back and which ones are coming. And
it's
that's a
scary,
scary defense, and one the Chiefs have not yet faced this year.
I am pretty nervous about it. But when we did face the 49ers earlier this year, we did do pretty decent. Because
that was when they sucked, though, because we even beat them. So you can't really throw a bunch on that, because I think the week before we beat them. So I wouldn't toot your horn too much there.
I know. They were
Garoppolo was still, I think that was his second week starting, and Garoppolo sucks.
Yeah, it's just...
He's no Purdy, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely not. Well, news came out today, actually, that Kyle Shanahan said that there's no plans of Jimmy G being there next year.
Well, we all thought that this year, and then, he's back all of a sudden. But, in that game, Jalen Hurts, 15 out of 21, 121 yards, 11 carries for 39 yards and a touchdown. No touchdowns through the air for him. The running game, though, Kenneth Gainwell, 14 carries, 48 yards, 2 receptions for 23 yards. Miles Sanders, 11 carries, 42 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Not too much in the receiving end of this game. They were running the ball pretty well, so they didn't have to do too much. Devontae Smith had that one catch.
Yeah, non-catch.
The catch that ended up getting them a touchdown, the first touchdown of the game, which shouldn't have happened if San Fran was smart and challenged that play. But Philadelphia got on the ball right away. They had a play called for that. You saw Devontae running, knucking it up, get on the ball. Devontae, 2 receptions, 36 yards. A.J. Brown, 4 receptions, 28 yards. It's just...
So what I'm seeing... Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
I don't really think Jalen Hurts is fully healthy yet. We saw it the week before.
I think they're just limiting him.
I think they are. And
I think why push it?
Yeah, I mean, 2 weeks, he'll probably be totally back to normal. But there was a few times when he tried hitting that go route to A.J. Brown.
A little short.
He missed him on that. It's not like he's super accurate
but
right
they
now.
still put up 30 points.
Well, that's just because their run game.
Their run game, they've
ferocious.
got 2 really good running backs. They've got a quarterback who can break out on you. Well,
backs. Boston Scott.
That's
too,
true.
Man.
Boston Scott still in there, but he does not do as much as Gainwell and Sanders.
Yeah.
But in terms of San Fran, really the only person to talk about is Christian McCaffrey. 15 carries, 84 yards, 1 touchdown, 4 receptions for 22 yards. I think he did have 1 incompletion as a quarterback as well.
Yeah. That was a crazy play.
Debo, 3 receptions, 33 yards, 6 carries for -9 yards.
Damn.
George Kittle, 3 receptions for 32 yards. You can tell he missed Purdy because it wasn't until Purdy came around that Kittle had that resurgence, especially in fantasy, where he was averaging basically like 2 touchdowns a game for that second half of the season. Well, not second half, from when Purdy started playing, but
pretty much the last quarter of the season.
Yeah, so... Yeah, unfortunately, this game just wasn't what we all thought it was going to be, and that was kind of a bummer. This was supposed to be that defensive knockout, drag out. We talked about it last week.
I was super excited.
We thought KC and Cincinnati were going to score over 55 at least, and we thought Philly and San Fran were going to maybe score 24-27 total.
Hey.
And here we go.
Isn't that what's fun about sports?
It is. We don't know what the
Think we
fuck
know?
we're talking about.
We don't fucking know.
Yeah, I heard it on the radio today. They're like, everything we talk about is speculation.
That's it.
None of it's based in reality until it becomes true. So, like, everything we say is just speculation.
Well, we've really never talked about it on air, but that's one of the reasons we've wanted. I say air like we're on the fucking radio.
Yeah.
Matt Dowd and Mike here.
SEC. Don't worry about us over here cursing.
But that's one reason we wanted to start this is because I do watch a lot of First Take and NFL Live and bullshit like that. And when I started to realize, like, these guys don't fucking know.
No.
They're just making guesses like me.
It's basically they just found a way to do what we did, and we're just like, we talk about this all the time.
I
We
mean,
should just televise it.
Obviously, they're ex-players. So, I mean, they've been in some of them
Yeah.
been in journalism forever, and I do respect some of them. But when I realized, like, my picks are sometimes better than theirs,
Yeah.
if not, the same, whatever. I'm like, we could fucking do this.
And here we are.
So, hey,
We're doing it.
cheers
On
to
that
the
note,
whiskey wager.
Here's the whiskey wager that I technically lost, but didn't really, but probably still might have.
It's worth it.
Cheers to you guys.
Cheers to Monkey Shoulder.
All right. Right now, we've got another musical break coming for you. It is Fast Eddie again. This song is called Game of Love. We will be back shortly. Thank you, guys.
Do you know what it's like to feel lonely when there's so many people swarming around you? Goes to show you never know who's your only when they seem so close, but they're so far behind you. Trust your heart to your heart, so fire, and don't trust the pros. They'll try to confine you. Bear the pain to your vein and to your body. 'Cause heartache's the cure that drives in the spurs, and everyone needs a little heartbreak to set your mind straight. In this game of love, can't you see that you and me are on the same page? We're not the same age.
We
In
are
this game of
back.
love.
It is the halfway point, and you just heard Fast Eddie with Game of Love. If you haven't yet, they have been our musical guest all this month. Technically, this show was supposed to be filmed yesterday, but due to my mom's birthday and Hannah's birthday, we were filming a day late, but we
Priorities.
decided we were still going to leave Fast Eddie for one more week because it was technically going to be their week anyways.
And they're that good.
They are that good. They just actually came out. They were going to go on a European tour. They now decided they're going to record a new album with the guy they recorded their last album with, which I've talked about before on the pod as a rec singer, Tuck Smith from the band Tuck Smith and the Restless Hearts. They're going to fly him and his producer out here to to record a new album. So that's going to be coming down the pike here probably either end of this year or early next year. You never know with record pressing plants being behind the 8 ball right now with everybody putting records out. It could be a little bit, but keep an eye out. And until then, please go follow them on Spotify and like and follow them on whatever else they're on. And make sure to go to their website, fasteddy.com. That is FASTEDDY.com. Buy some songs, buy some merch. That really helps people get shit done, especially the merch. The merch goes a long ways for us people in bands, even for us people in podcasts, because we don't get paid much for you guys to listen to this stuff, unfortunately. It's
Not yet.
Cents on the cents. We make cents on cents, which makes no sense, but that's what we make. So please go help them out. Please go help us out. Like I said, if you're listening right now, go like, share, subscribe, and follow us on anything, and please rate us 5 stars on anything. And right now, we are going to take the shot at the turn, and then we're going to get into some NBA stuff because we got the fast break coming at you. On that note, Chad Lee, one more shot of Monkey Shoulder.
Here we go. Shot at the turn.
Shot at the turn.
Right.
Cheers.
It's going to help me think about basketball.
Sometimes you just got to, get in that proper state of mind.
It's so warm. Fuck.
You don't like it warm?
No. I even tried to chill it in the fridge for 30 minutes, but I didn't put it in there.
You look
long enough.
unhappy right now.
I don't like warm shots, dude. Oh, man. I hope you people enjoy this, but it's like boiling honey and then putting a hot sauce in it or something.
You know what's weird, though? I hate, I'll drink it like in a refrigerator. But what freaks me out is people that keep their booze in the freezer.
I don't do that anymore. I used to.
Especially like shit like liqueurs or like Fireball, where it's been in the freezer and it literally feels like you just swallowed like a solid glob.
It's gross.
It
changes.
Yeah,
it changes.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I'm I mean, I drink most of my drinks on the rocks, so I've got a little bit of coolness to it.
Speaking of that, cheers.
Oh yeah, we're
Let's
drinking
chase it
Moscow
with
Mules.
The Moscow. We're calling them Mexican
From
mules, man.
Mile High Spirits.
Yeah, that there's a bunch. Cutwater Mule is a really popular canned
Yeah.
Moscow, but this is my favorite, Punching Mule.
It's pretty good. Moscow Mules are refreshing. You got that little lime bite, and then some
Ginger
vodka
beer, man.
and
Settles
ginger
the
beer.
stomach a little.
Yeah,
I love it. I even got
one
my
of those
mom
old
on it.
wives' tales.
My mom never had a Moscow Mule. She liked it when I went down there
Did
one
she
time.
have a tummy ache?
No, you don't need that. That's what ginger ale's for,
That's
man.
what I'm saying.
And then I
Damn
sent
it,
her
dude.
some copper mugs, and dude, that's the game changer. It's got to be cold.
I don't think the copper mug has anything to do
You
with it,
don't
Chad.
know it, man. You don't fucking
I think
know.
I think literally someone's just like, I have these hand hammered copper mugs laying around. You know what we should do? Moscow Mules.
I'll serve it to you in a plastic cup next time. You're gonna
It'll
be like,
taste
what
the same, Chad.
Bullshit. You don't fucking know.
You don't know.
No, I am. I'm from Russia.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do next week: blind taste test. We're gonna have blindfolds. I don't know how we're gonna make it so you can't tell. Oh, straws. That's the way we'll do it.
That's a good call.
They'll both be
Yeah.
on the table. We'll have one in plastic and one in copper, and you gotta take it with a straw. And you have to tell me what the difference is,
I
because
even
I
have-
guarantee you,
You're not getting.
you won't know.
You're talking out of your ass right now. I even
I'm
have
talking
copper.
out of my face, which may be able
That
to
may
be
be your
mistaken
ass.
for an ass. But let me tell you right now, it's my face.
I even have copper straws for these mugs.
No, you don't.
I swear
if
to God,
you
I'll-
do, I'm gonna throw them away.
No,
when
you
we
won't.
walk out of this room, I'm gonna recycle them for money.
You will walk straight out of my house, and you will not touch my utensils. Okay? Get out of
Next thing
here.
you're gonna tell me, you have aluminum chopsticks.
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Nah, I got rid of them yesterday, actually. So,
Yeah.
I needed money and recycled them. Aluminum's up. All right, let's get into the fast break, man.
Let's do it.
Let me take another drink of this.
It's good. Slurp it like that.
I'm gonna do that the whole rest of the show.
I bet
In
you
the
will.
mic.
Okay, so in the fast break.
What do you have in terms of news? Because I've got some things. Let's hope we don't have the same
Well,
things.
we gotta rewind back to I think it was. What date did we record that last episode? I think it was the 25th. I think it was the night that we recorded it. Damian Lillard went off for 60 points on the most efficient 60-point game in NBA history. 21 out of 29 shots.
We might have talked about this because I thought we talked about them losing.
No,
They still lost,
they
right?
still lost, but I don't feel like we talked about it. I think we talked about it when you came over the next day.
Oh, yeah,
when
yeah,
we
yeah.
set this up.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah,
That threw me for a loop because
Yeah.
it was back here the
they
day
did
after.
end up beating. No, I'm pretty sure they won that night. But yeah,
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And then there's a few other things. LeBron, 28 triple-double in overtime win over the Knicks.
first triple-double of the season.
First triple-double of the season. He passed Steve Nash on the all-time assists list.
That is pretty impressive.
He is now number 4 with 10,338 assists.
You know what we should talk about too is the game before that.
I was going to bring that up here
okay.
because it's going to come up in the breakdowns.
All right,
Otherwise,
cool.
I would say what we're going to talk about.
This
probably.
proves that we don't script anything. We just
No,
jump
we don't
into it.
because we were talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show we know what's up, people. We're on it.
You got it.
We got our finger on the pulse.
Start right there.
The other thing I did want to talk about, though, Luka goes off again.
That's what I have it on here.
Scores 53 for a league-leading fourth 50-point game this season, all while talking shit to the Pistons
That's what I
assistant
was gonna
coaches
say, too.
because all game, I don't know why, for some reason, one of the most likable people next to Nikola Jokic, they were just talking shit to him the whole game. I don't get it. They were all over him.
So a lot of speculation is that they just wanted to because you don't
They
want
thought
your
that
head
was gonna
coach.
work?
Yeah, you don't want your head coach to get thrown out. So let's just use him as a pawn and have him talk shit to Luka the whole time.
It was the whole game.
The Pistons suck. It's not like they need this win or anything, but it's like let's try to make sure Luka has a bad
When a
game.
guy's going for 50 on you, you got to try something.
And it didn't fucking work. I mean, they were going back and forth all game. I think there was a few tees thrown out, right?
Yeah.
a few technicals. But I mean, Luka, that is his first game back too after like what 6 games missed.
Yeah,
or
he did miss
something
a
with
few,
sprained ankle. So that one hell of a game back. I'd say to me, he's like second or third in MVP right now. It's really up there. It's either him or Embiid, and I can't stand to put him up there. But that's just
I haven't looked. The last time we talked about it, I saw Vegas after the 76ers game where Embiid supposedly locked up the MVP by having one decent game.
So dumb.
Even though he's only played 3/4 of the games this season, and I think Jokic has missed 4 or 5.
Yep.
I think Embiid's at like 11 right now. Even though he's missed a quarter of the season and rests for all these games where he can score all these points, they did beat up on the Nuggets. So supposedly he was going to be ahead of Jokic, but then the next day Vegas comes out and says Jokic is still minus 125 to win.
Because that's the real pick.
Because the guy's averaging a fucking triple-double.
He's averaging. All right, let's go over this. For casual fans out there, Chris, how many players in NBA history, which is probably upwards to 1 million now since the merger to the ABA or whatever, was it ABA, right, back in the day?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
the 70s.
2 players have averaged a triple-double since then. Triple-double means points, rebounds, and assists. What are those 2 players?
I mean,
it could be any stat,
yeah,
but most likely
it's Wilt
those
and
2.
Jokic.
It's
and
no
Westbrook.
Westbrook and Oscar Robertson.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
Okay.
I fucked it up.
I shouldn't have quizzed you. That's
You
my
shouldn't
bad.
have.
I
I
should have
failed.
said it myself.
You
I
should
set
have.
you up and you
And I dropped the
dropped
ball.
the ball. It's okay.
Damn it.
I'll cover it. So,
I just
Cheers,
went
buddy.
Wilt. I just
love
went
how
Wilt
this is
because it's
so-
like everything's Wilt at this
It
point.
is, but-
it's Wilt or Jokic. It doesn't matter.
he played, I think, before the merger a lot, right? Yeah. So that doesn't.
He's like in the 60s, but he
Yeah.
branched. I thought he made it into the merger. He might not have.
They were
I
talking.
could be
Okay,
wrong.
so today on First Take, when they were talking about greatest athletes of all time with Tom Brady retiring, I just came up with this top 5 in my head. I'm like, top 5 NBA players. Like, I don't think I'd put Wilt in the 5 because he played before. So, like, if you put Wilt up against Shaq, what the fuck do you think would happen? Tim Duncan?
Yeah, it's tough to say though because it's so
different
hard
eras.
because he made basketball what it is today.
He's an old Jayhawk. so I
Before
love it.
then, and no offense, we're gonna get into this later. Was National Women in Sports Day, but
Pussy Power.
indeed, we all are run by it. If it wasn't for the ladies, we wouldn't be here. So we owe it all to you, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But
Yep.
I don't even know where I was going with this now. I went off on that tangent. Shit.
So women in basketball, Wilt.
Yeah, I don't even know where I was going.
Okay, well, I was talking about like the top 5 greatest, and I just don't feel like he kind of deserves it.
Because I was basically talking about how like basketball wouldn't be what it is today. And this is where I was going. No offense. Back then, basketball was played like women's basketball. It is it is extremely it is like the most fundamental basketball because it's a lot of passing, it's moving the ball, it's very, very team oriented. When you get to the NBA, it is very player oriented.
Oh yeah.
Everything's based off the best player. That's not the way it is. I mean, it still does happen in women's NCAA and in the WNBA, but it's not the same sport really when you compare it as to how it flows.
Yeah.
And back then, it flowed much like a women's NCAA game. It was very pass oriented.
The fundamentals.
A lot of
James Naismith.
Exactly.
That's what he taught.
And then all of a sudden, this guy shows up who's dunking the ball, and like they didn't even know what a dunk was.
Yeah.
It's just like in semi-pro when they do the
alley-oop?
alley-oop, and it's a foul. Foul! He doesn't even know what to do.
I'm gonna punch you in the jejunum.
That is basically what happened, and it is hard to gauge what he actually did. But you're right. I'm sure if he went up against Shaq, if he went against Jokic for that matter.
Oh, seriously. And obviously the game's evolved. We've had decades to kind of learn, and these players have seen from it. But regardless, that's kind of my take on it. Is just I don't think I would put Wilt in that top 5 because of the greatest. What he played against compared to what guys like even what Jokic is playing against. But that's the fact of the matter.
You could
circle
argue
back
he's
around,
top 5. You could argue it.
That Jokic?
No, Wilt.
Oh no, you could definitely argue that for sure. I definitely, like I said, he's probably like 5 for me. Number 1, Bill Russell. Number 2, Michael Jordan. Number 3, Magic. Number
Kobe.
4,
You gotta put Kobe in there somewhere.
only
That's where
3,
this
man.
argument happens.
Only three. Kobe's probably 6 for me.
You're gonna put Kobe at 6?
Yeah.
Who's at 4?
4 is probably Bird.
That's fair.
If you right now put
That's
Bird,
fair.
because to me Luka Doncic is Larry Bird.
A lot of people say Jokic is Larry Bird.
Yeah, I could see that too. But
Not
he's
the
a
shooter.
center. Yeah,
But and Luka's
It's
not
tough.
the shooter that Larry was.
no, because I mean
I just watched that
If
clip
no
the
one's-
other day when they were talking to Larry
the
and
3-point contest.
no, where he was talking about like the wrong way to shoot a 3. And he's like, "Oh yeah, if you pull it too far back, you're not gonna make it." And he shoots it, swish, and he's like, "Well, it's me."
Larry
I'm
Bird.
fucking good to shoot the ball.
I
can't
think
help it.
too. He was the innovator of the trash talk. It's
Oh, he
crazy
was.
because this farm boy from Indiana came in and he told. I love this story where I can't remember the team he played or the player that he said this to, but he came in and when the warm ups were happening, he told this guy, he's like, "I think I'm going to go off for 40 tonight." Yeah, and then they're like, "Oh, bullshit."
Yeah.
Larry Bird, white dude from Indiana, Hoosier, goes off for like 48 by the end of the third quarter and then sits in the fourth.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a dagger.
The dude's a fucking legend. If you watch, there's that, I think it was HBO Sports, between him and Magic, like basically going through their entire, like, back and forth between the Celtics and the Lakers at that time. Because if you watch, what was it called? The John C. Reilly show that came out.
I had never watched it, but
You didn't watch it?
He was my favorite Sports Illustrated writer.
No, John C. Reilly from.
John C. Reilly. I thought you meant Rick Riley.
No,
I
John C.
didn't listen.
Reilly, where he was Jerry Buss.
Yeah, the Lakers
was it
show.
called?
Yeah, I watched that.
Fuck.
Shit.
Anyways,
I watched that whole season. It was really
it
good.
basically like is in that era where it's the actual footage of Larry and Magic and like how they hated each other and then became friends. It's a really good documentary. But like you go back to that, that's some of the hardest, craziest basketball ever, man.
No doubt. It was so different back then. I mean, guys were throwing punches at each other.
Yeah, all the time. You look at the Pistons.
Yeah.
All those guys in the Pistons.
The bad
Rodman.
boys.
Yeah,
Lambeer,
the bad
man.
boys.
Lambeer.
Lambeer was one of the
He should have been an
gnarliest
MMA
players.
fighter.
Yeah, but yeah, if any of these guys went into the paint on Lambeer back in the day, they would probably call their mom afterwards because they'd be like, "He hit me too hard.
He hit me."
He elbowed my eye."
Lambeer looks like a guy that worked for the mob, but also played for the NBA.
Yeah. Oh, Winning Time.
It was a
The
great
Rise
series.
of the Lakers. If you haven't watched that yet, Rec Center right now, go check out Winning Time. Super good.
Did you finish the season?
I did.
Nice.
John C. Reilly did a really great job.
He killed it, man.
And the guy who played Magic Johnson, who I can't remember his name, did a really
He
great
looked
job as
just
well.
like
yeah.
him too.
But that was a really great show.
I'm looking forward to season 2.
Definitely, we'll see if it happens. I don't know if they're going to
I think
extend
it's
it.
renewed.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
We'll see. Everything's getting canceled nowadays. But let's move on. That's the news. Into the Eastern Conference. We got first place Boston. Saturday, they beat the games. This is what you want to talk about in one of the most controversial endings of the year, as LeBron acted like one of his children were murdered in front of him on live TV at the end of that game. Tatum,
I can't believe it, man. I was watching that game live, and I was like, "What is
I was
happening?"
Like, is it the finals all of a sudden? What just happened? Was this game 7?
I mean, here's the thing, dude. After watching the replay, it clearly was a foul.
Oh
But
yeah, it changed the trajectory of the ball. It would have went in had it not gotten slapped on the wrist. But
the tantrum that he threw has led a lot of NBA analysts, Perkins, Stephen A., and everybody to be like, "You need to grow the fuck up, man." Like,
yeah,
dude, he got on all fours, like he was praying.
well, he thrashed around for a little while, and then went to the all fours like he was Muslim and praying all of a sudden.
I almost said that too.
I didn't. That's literally what happened.
It looked like it.
It looked like what he was doing
Because he got down to his knees and
Yeah.
just was like, "Are you kidding me? How is that not?" All right. The thing of it is, you just got to accept it. It wasn't like the game was over. You're going to overtime. You got another 5 minutes to win the game, And then the Celtics pulled through.
They
easily.
they wasted all that energy freaking out about it rather than being like, we got to go finish this game. And they didn't finish the game.
Yeah.
And
they did go into overtime last night, and they did pull it off. I think that
they
was
did.
his
He got his
bounce
first
back.
triple-double.
Yeah.
But the league even came out, and the refs came out and said they missed the call. What are you going to do, though?
Yeah.
And this is what we were talking about in the NFL. The officiating in both leagues it's garbage.
Yeah.
They need full-time refs. These guys need to be a part of the league. They need to be with the league full-time. This having outside people who could very easily be influenced by whoever with the amount of money and sports betting going
We've
on.
seen the Connolly, situation before.
It's not good. And you come out and say it's wrong, so what? You still affected a game. That game would have been over in regulation had that foul been called.
Yeah, he probably would have made at least
in
one
theory.
of those free throws.
They could have scored, I guess, but all they needed was a couple points. That game was over. So they come out, they say, yeah, we fucked up, but what does it do? The damage was done. They lose in overtime. Jaylen Brown scores 37. Jason Tatum, another MVP. Not odds-on favorite
3.
to win. He's like probably top 3 right now. Adds 30 points and 11 assists. Malcolm Brogdon had 15 of his 26 points in the second half of the game that had 19 lead changes. So this game was back and forth.
What a good draft pick.
Definitely, yeah. And then they had 6 lead changes in the fourth quarter alone and 15 ties. James had 41 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists. Like we said, he did come out and have that triple-double after this game. EDDY had 16 points and 10 rebounds. He's coming off the bench still. This is his second game back after missing, 20 games from that foot injury that happened in the Nuggets game way back when.
Yep.
Beverly added 15 points and had the best technical foul I've ever seen.
That was awesome. Glad you brought that up. I forgot about that. Took a camera from a photographer on the sideline and courtside and then took it to the ref. It was like, look, it's a foul.
Yeah, got teed up right away. And as he's walking away, he's like, look, it's a foul. It's a foul.
Yeah.
And then one more time, it's a foul. Like as he walks off and hands the camera back, it's like,
As much as I hate the guy,
I'd take
I was like,
that.
that was pretty entertaining.
It's like we always said. He's that guy you hate when he plays against you, but if he's on your team, you fucking love that dude.
Did you see that comparison that Eli Apple is the Patrick Beverly?
Basically, yeah.
I was like, that's so spot
I would put
on.
Pat Bev as being better than Eli Apple because he's backed it up more than a few
Eli
times.
Apple
but
really played a bad game in that AFC.
he had a bad game, especially all the shit he talked all year, too. So
That's true.
in his face. They take on the 4th place Nets as we speak,
Let's
and they
give
were
an
getting
update
blown
on it.
out.
I was
think
about
in
to
the
say
first
that.
quarter with 3 minutes left, it was 30-something to 9.
It is the end of the third quarter now, and they are down by 38 points.
That is a blowout.
Yeah, it's a blowout. Kyrie is certainly not the leader of a team, and the Celtics are a juggernaut. It's going to be tough to beat them.
And we don't know how long KD is going to be out for. I think he's supposed to be back here in the next week or
I
two,
was gonna say a
but
week, 2 weeks.
you never know. He's got spindly legs, man.
It's just
spindly
so
legs.
lanky and skinny. Never put on any muscle.
Yeah, and then that moves us on to the second place Bucks, who are sitting at 34 and 17. By the way, Boston 36 and 15. The Bucks beat the Hornets 124 to 115 for their 5th consecutive victory on Tuesday night. Middleton, who has been not playing at all this year, I think he missed. What was it?
He just came back like a week ago, I think, right?
Yeah, he hasn't been back that long. He only played 20 minutes in this game. He missed basically the first half of the season. He scored 18 and ignited a third quarter run that put the Bucks ahead for basically the rest of the game. They did have to deal with LaMelo Ball getting a triple-double. He had 27 points, 11 assists, and 10 rebounds, but it wasn't enough as Giannis had 34 points and 18 rebounds.
Say Giannis?
Giannis.
You say that on purpose?
Yeah. Giannis had 34 points and 18 rebounds. That was after putting up 50 in a loss to New Orleans on Sunday. And after that game, he basically came out and said, we need to play better, even though he put up 50 points.
It's crazy. If he didn't miss, a good handful of games earlier this season, he would definitely be in the MVP conversation. He kind of still is, but
yeah,
that dude can
all
still
these guys
fucking
are
ball.
putting up fucking points like no other this season. It's insane.
Wilbon brought it up on PTI today. We got the All-Star game coming up. We haven't covered this. I don't know how much more. Do you want to finish the standings real quick, and then we'll go into this point?
Yeah, we can go into that. So Drew Holiday had 15 points, a career high, 13 rebounds. They take on the Clippers tomorrow night. In third place, we have the 76ers at 32 and 17. After a battle of the MVPs where Jokic fell short against Embiid, Embiid scored 47 points. They lose to the first half of a home and home. Oh, I'm sorry. They lose the first half of a home and home with the Magic, 119-109. Paolo Banchero had 29 points and 10 rebounds. He's also the Rising Stars.
Yeah.
He's like the #1 pick in the Rising Stars game, basically.
And the game just finished. They beat the Magic 105-94 tonight. So they got revenge.
So they got their revenge. Again, I wrote this before that game happened. They did rally back in that game from a 21-point first quarter deficit to beat the 76ers. Embiid did score 30 points and grabs 11 rebounds. It's his 27th game with over 30 points, which is pretty wild. And it's his 9th game in the last 10.
So he came from Duke, right?
Yeah, Embiid?
No, Banchero.
Banchero, yeah, it was Duke.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Embiid, 9 out of 10 games, he scored 30 points. He also led the team in turnovers, which I think in that Nuggets game he also had like 4 or 5 turnovers. Yeah. So he loses the ball a lot. He also got into foul trouble in this game as the Magic bullied him in the paint. In fourth, in the Eastern Conference, you've got the Nets, like we were just talking about, 31-19. No KD. We don't know when for sure he'll be back. In fifth, you've got Cleveland at 31-22, and in sixth, you've got Miami. They're basically holding the end of the Miami. They're holding the end of the playoff seeding basically at 29-23. What were you going to bring up though?
Yeah, just that game that I was talking about that they just won. Oh, the Trailblazers have pulled within 1 to the Grizzlies.
Oh, well, let's hope they beat the Grizzlies.
I know. Yeah, I want the Nuggets to keep that lead in the West.
Which, I mean, that moves us into the Western Conference.
Oh, that's what I was going to talk about. So, Michael Wilbon, one of my the guys that I respect the most in sports journalism, brought up today how the All-Star game in NBA is a total joke. And he brought up the idea that...
What All-Star game isn't a joke?
Yeah, I know.
Aside from maybe MLB.
Yeah. That instead of having this stupid captains we're going to pick before the game kind of thing, we've got so many good international players. Why not do international versus USA?
No, that'd be good. It would be more entertaining, but
it would be. It is a total throw off of what's conventional.
The Europeans would probably fuck up the.
I know, but that's what makes it kind of interesting, and it's a good
we don't
idea.
Want that. Then we'll have the Russians and everybody. You know, it's not good.
There's not too many Russians. Like it's mainly just Jokic. It's Serbia. It's close enough. To
Serbs.
Russia. But I just want to know what you thought about that because I think it would. I don't think the NBA would ever do it. But if you would think about how the rest of the world would tune in to the All-Star game,
it would make it a lot more internationalistic, well, that's a weird thing to say. Internationalist to nationalist, you know what I mean? Where it's like the world versus the U.S.
USA, yeah.
So I could see it being good. I mean, you look at what they've done with the Pro Bowl now at this point. It's fucking flag football and like a skills challenge.
It's a circus competition.
Who
it really
cares?
Is. Nobody gives a fuck.
I saw Derek Carr's now as AFC
Tyler
Pro
Huntley.
Bowl. Yeah, well, that we got to talk about Tyler Huntley. 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
Makes
is
the Pro
now
Bowl.
the starting Pro Bowl quarterback, I think. I don't even know anymore.
It's a
Who
joke.
cares? I honestly think it should just be awards. You made it. Here's a fucking here's a shirt. I don't know, a coat, a hat, whatever it is.
I agree.
We don't need to play an extra game. The only place it really matters, like I said, was an MLB where that decides who has home field advantage.
I think
basically,
that's awesome. I think that makes a big difference. And I even talked about today in the NFL. With these guys that make it. Create some incentive to it where if the NFC wins, then your particular foundation or charity that you have, because almost all of these guys have created their own charities, then that gets a certain amount of money or something like that. It's just, it all means nothing. So nobody cares.
There's better ways to do it, but it's all about TV ratings at the end. And that's the thing. And it's hard, especially like with the NBA and the NHL, which we won't be talking about the NHL this week. They are on the All-Star break. I think the All-Star game is on Saturday this week. And we are not going to talk about them this week, but we will reconvene on that next week. But it's hard with especially like the NHL and the NBA when it's in the middle of the season to have these guys go full out in a game. You know what I mean? And then be like, What if you tear your ACL in the fucking All-Star game?
I get
and
that.
it's the middle of the season, and now your team's fucked. You know what I mean? Like, imagine, God forbid, knock on plastic. What if something happened to Jokic in the All-Star game? It's, the team's done.
Knock on
So
wood.
Stuff like that's really hard to like kind of justify. Like, these guys need to go all out. Like, at least in the Pro Bowl, it's basically the end of the year, and the guys that are playing still aren't going to play, and the guys that are going to play are done. So you at least have that. But yeah, I just don't know how you expect these guys to do extracurricular shit. You know what I mean?
No, I totally agree.
Especially with the especially with the injuries and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, if they ever did switch to it, I mean, there's sometimes that, leagues do listen to these top journalists, and if they did switch to... okay.
Just break something, or are you hacking?
No,
Are
I
you
wanted to make
hacking?
sure that it wasn't... Damn, the Blazers just pulled within 5. That's why I wanted to actually pull this game up live and give some live updates to it.
Oh, that's fair.
If they beat the Grizzlies, that'd be fucking nice.
That'd be nice. Hope they drop them one out of us, because, like I said, we're gonna move on to the Western Conference. We got the Nuggets sitting at 35-16. They bounce back after the disappointing loss to the 76ers on Saturday, and they snap a 2-game skid against the Pelicans last night.
That was great.
122-113. Jamal Murray is looking like he might finally be back.
That was awesome. Those step back threes he had, whoo, that was a dagger, man.
He's finally scratching the surface of what he was before. He scores 32 points, hitting a season high 7 3-pointers. Moving him past J.R. Smith for second all-time, and he's only 33 away from the all-time leading 3-point scorer, Will Barton, which he jokingly said after the game he's going to get in 3 games. So,
oh, shit. Nice. He's
But
motivated.
That'd be
That's
nice.
cool.
That'd be nice.
The blue arrow.
I mean, after Will got it last year, Murray basically said in the locker room, like, that's going to be me soon. And then
Nice.
Will got traded. So, yeah, it's a clear path for Jamal Murray to be the leading 3-point shooter for the Denver Nuggets.
Jokic had the triple-double in the game.
16th of the year.
Yep.
And the Nuggets are 16-0 when he has a triple-double.
That says a lot right there. MVP.
Indeed, MVP all the way. I don't care about that game last week where he lost to Embiid. It's one game. They got to play one more back in Denver.
in Philly,
we'll
too.
see. Maybe Embiid's going to take a break for that game because, God forbid, it take a chunk out of what might be his first MVP. I don't think he's going to get the MVP. You've got Jokic sitting here averaging basically a triple-double. Some people round it up to 10. I think he's sitting at 9.97 assists.
Close.
He's right there.
He had 15 assists last night.
15. That's the thing. I don't
If
care.
a point guard had 15 assists, they'd be like, I had a fucking awesome game.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, too. You've got Embiid scoring 30 points. I don't care how many points you score. He scored 30 points in the game they lost that we just talked about. I want to see somebody who's affecting the game and winning the game. Anytime this guy has a triple-double, they are winning, and it's because he's not scoring 30, 40 points in these triple-doubles.
Yep.
He's averaging about 20-some points, but it's the rebounds. Always almost over 10, like usually around probably
Close
over 12.
to 20.
Yeah, and
18
then
last
18
night.
in this game. I'm just saying on average.
Yeah.
And then his assists, 15 assists. That's,
It's just insane.
30 points right there that you're involved in, not on
Makes
top of yours.
The offense happened.
Yeah.
And he got my boy Christian Brown going last night.
Indeed.
That was awesome.
Kansas alum. But yeah, the Nuggets, I look at a person like Jokic and I just see him affect the game wherever it needs to be affected. I look at Embiid, and if you take away his points, if you take away one aspect of his game, he is not the same player. Jokic, if you take away one thing, he will bring another thing in and dominate you there. It doesn't matter. He had that crazy behind-the-shoulder pass over Valanciunas. Valanciunas didn't even know the ball went by him. He's still guarding him, and the ball's already behind him getting put in the basket. This guy's playing next level. He's so far above and beyond the guys he's playing against, they don't even know what's happening.
How about that crossover last night where he almost fell over, but he still got the
he
layup.
still takes it all the way
He
in.
looked goofy as shit, but still
it's like we always
schooled
said,
the guy.
dude's most athletic person I've ever seen in my life.
Seriously.
But let's move on. We know the Nuggets are good. We just got to hope that they can keep it going. They've got Memphis nipping at their heels at 32-18.
Right now, Memphis is definitely losing. They're down by 8.
So, and we've already got one up on them too. So, in terms of wins, But Morant nabs his 5th triple-double, 27 points, 15 assists, and 10 rebounds. Jaren Jackson Jr. adds 20 points as the Grizz rally to overcome a slow first half to beat the Pacers. Second half adjustments definitely helped them in this game as they really cranked down on defense. They shut them down basically, I think, in the second half, outscoring them, what was it, 62-38. Yeah, the Grizzlies are good.
Yeah.
And I think they're young still, and I think that's going to be their downfalls. They don't have the shitty losses like the Nuggets have, that just really fortify you as a team.
What I'm seeing here too, while I'm watching this Blazers and Grizzlies game, where Morant tries to take over a game rather than Jokic, which
he facilitates the game.
The most respected pundits in the game, Brian Windhorst. Why did I say that?
That's close.
Fucked it up. But him, Perkins, all these guys have said that the Nuggets have the deepest bench in the league, and that's just it. And Jokic will find these guys, and they said it last night in the commentary, where if you're not open, if you get open, you'll get a shot.
You've seen it, half these guys that aren't used to playing with Jokic, the ball down there hits them in the head because they're like, oh shit, it's coming out my face. I didn't even know
vision is insane.
Yeah, if you don't have the ball and Jokic does, be ready because it could be coming at you.
That's why I feel good about the Nuggets in a 7-game series, but I'm glad to see it looks like
I don't know who in the West can beat them in a 7-game series.
Tomorrow night, we got to mention this. They play the Warriors, but it's the Warriors playing on a 2-game back-to-back. The
Warriors are creeping up though.
They are. They've been playing good, and they are winning right now from what I've been seeing. But on a back-to-back, I bet they're not there. Plus, they have to come to Denver, right?
They do, yeah. And the other thing I want to mention about the Grizzlies, after Ja Morant came out and said that he wasn't really worried about anybody in the West, I'm pretty sure they were about 500 in the West. Yeah. So you better start worrying, man.
Yeah.
Your daddy can't help you from the sidelines when Shannon Sharp wants to beat your ass when it comes down to the finals, and you got Jokic for 7 games. You know what I'm saying?
Daddy's not going to be there, man. Well put, Chris. Well put.
But let's move on to the Kings, which are surprising. The Sacramento Kings are in 3rd place right now, 28-21. De'Aaron Fox scores 32 points, and Trey Lyles has 8 out of his 11 points in overtime to help the Kings reign supreme over the Timberwolves Monday night. Malik Monk scores 19 points, and Domantas Sabonis 17 points, and I wrote the wrong number. I have 1 rebound, but it was more than that, and I can't remember what it was before he fouled out. They are on track to end a 16-year NBA record drought from the playoffs if they can sneak into it.
They've been playing.
They're
good.
Sitting in 3rd, so
and it's all because of Sabonis.
Yes,
another good international player.
The international players, man, shit, I'd take him.
Yeah, it looks like Dame has 40 points right now, and this probably win against the Grizzlies.
Yeah. One thing about the Kings, they are a very good defensive team, and in this game they had a season-high 15 steals and 18 turnovers as a team.
Holy shit.
This is a defensive unit that could upset somebody when it comes down to the playoffs. So
that is a good point.
Team you don't want to face. Real quick rundown of what we have left. They do take on the Spurs, which actually is as we speak, I think. I don't know if you have that update on you or...
Yeah, I've got this game in full screen, so let me just go back to
full screen it. Get it to half screen, quarter screen, 8th screen.
Screen to screen. Which game did you say?
Kings and Spurs.
81-78. That's a close game with the Spurs.
81-78. What quarter? How many time is left?
3 minutes left in the 3rd.
3 minutes left in the 3rd. All right, so that's going to do a quick rundown. We're going to do the people who are left in the playoff hunt. We're not going all the way through. In 4th place, you have the Los Angeles Clippers, 29-25. And 5th, the Golden State Warriors, who not too long ago were out of the playoff race and are now firmly in it. This is a team that's getting healthy at the perfect time, right before a big break, before the All-Star break. Curry's back. Curry's the same.
But they have a hard time winning on the road. So
they do.
In any playoff series, you got to play on the road. So that's their big Achilles heel.
Yeah, and unless they can get up a little bit further, they're going to be playing on the road for sure.
Yeah.
In 6th place, you have Dallas, who is tied with the Suns at 27-25. I think the Suns are on a little bit of a downtick in terms of the Mavericks. The Mavericks are on an uptick. You got Luka scoring the most 50-point games this season.
He's carrying that team.
He is carrying that team. I'm looking for them to do some trades coming up soon, which the trade deadline in the NBA, I forget when it is exactly. I think it's the 13th. It's coming up soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking for them to do something to bolster that that roster because Luka needs a little bit of help. Porzingis is just not what they thought he was going to be.
Well, they don't have Jalen Brunson anymore,
Yeah,
so they need some help for him.
Definitely. Well, that's about it for the NBA and the fast break. So we're going to let Chad take over on a little bit of UFC. We're going to do a quick rundown of the UFC, and we're going to hit the DDOE and probably get out of here unless we do an ELE, which I don't know if we're going to do. So
Yeah, I don't think
we've got so many acronyms now. If you don't know what's going on in the show, which
Just
sounds
stay
like we're
tuned.
speaking letters.
Yeah. Just you got to listen. You got to listen.
All right, so Chad, take us down to UFC. What's happening?
This week we got a UFC fight night in Vegas at the Performance Center. Really not any fights that really catch my eye other than the main event. We got Derek Lewis versus Sergey Spivak. Spivak is an up-and-coming fighter. He's been knocking guys out. Spivak.
Spivak?
Spivak, something like that.
Fair enough.
Either way,
I like
Derek
phonetics.
Lewis is always entertaining.
Yeah.
He's the Black Beast. He's got the most knockouts in heavyweight history. He's trying to climb back to get another title shot. He's never really performed well when he's gotten the title shot, but
He doesn't like fighting 5 rounds. He said that before.
he doesn't.
His first 5-round fight, he's like, I don't like this shit.
Yeah, he's a big guy that just likes to get paid. So he's really not – he doesn't have a whole lot of ambition, but I did see some recent clips of him where he's been running a lot. He's lost a lot of weight, so I think he's starting to take it a little more serious, trying to take this last shot at trying to get a title shot pretty serious. So it is a good fight because Sergey he's a dangerous assassin, so it is worth fighting for. I've looked this up multiple times to try to confirm it. For some reason, they're airing the main card at 11 p.m. If anybody wants to correct me,
stay up late.
please do. But that's what I'm seeing.
Yeah, it's weird too because it is in Vegas, so we thought like maybe it's international. It's 11 a.m.
Yeah,
No, so it might be a typo. We don't know.
I don't know, but
So,
yeah, stay tuned.
We'll try it, and if we catch it early enough, we'll let you know on social media. So stay tuned in that. And if you haven't yet, please like and follow us on social media. Please.
Please do. And Derek Lewis is super entertaining. If you haven't followed the Black Beast or Beast UFC on Instagram, it's totally
At Beast UFC.
yeah, it's totally worth it. He's got a really good
Yeah, all of his fights are really good, and like his finishing celebration's really good, where he like slams the ground, and I don't really know what you call it. Like, looks like a yoga move to like.
I'd say, I mean, without sounding too edgy, it kind of looks like a gorilla that comes out there and he just pounds the ground.
That's probably too edgy.
No, it's fine.
We're gonna have to bleep this.
He's leaned into it. It's fine.
It's like we were talking about before. I was like, I feel bad calling him the Black Beast. That's what
his
he's called.
That's his nickname. Yeah. But
So-
yeah, it's worth checking out. And then here, I think that would be, next week. Then we finally get another good pay-per-view.
Oh, nice. And that's so. This is just a fight night then.
Yeah, just
Free?
a fight night. It's a free, no pay-per-view. If you have ESPN Plus, then it's free.
Yeah, well, it's technically not free
Well,
because
not
you got to
free,
pay.
but whatever.
But if you have the Hulu ESPN Plus, you have that and ESPN Plus and some other streaming service.
Plus.
Which I said service weird. That's what happens when you start drinking. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break right now. You are going to hear John Daly, and he's about to hit it hard.
Oh, yeah.
Because we got the DDOE, the Daily Dose of Excellence, coming at you right after this.
I hit it hard, man. So far, man. No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing, it's a natural fact. I hit it long, man. Till it's gone, man. Keep taking chances, live it large. I hit it hard.
And we are back for the final time of this episode. We have reached the Daily Dose of Excellence, which, as most of you know, is the ending of the show. And for this one, it is I guess it's national. It might be international, but it's National Women in Sports Day, February 1st. And in that respect, we do have Taylor Robinson from Oklahoma. She secured the NCAA women's 3-point record. She now has 498 in her career. In her first collegiate game, she scored 8 3-pointers. She was shouted out by Steph Curry in a video tribute that she got directed, obviously, towards her. But she also got to meet Steph Curry. And Steph Curry, the crazy thing about it, in his collegiate career, the number one shooter probably by the time he's done in all of NBA history, only had 414 3-pointers in his collegiate career.
Yeah, so what I'm reading here, she not only beat the women's, but she beat the overall NCAA record.
She dominated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
498.
What was the overall? What was the men's NCAA record? Do you have that up there?
I believe it was Curry's at 413.
Oh, shit.
He holds the record, yeah, when he played for Davidson.
Yeah, which is so weird that he played for Davidson.
I know, it's nuts. He took him on a Cinderella run, too. I think they went to the Sweet 16, maybe even further.
So, yeah, I mean, this goes out to her. We were kind of talking about it a little bit earlier. It's just the difference between the women's and the men's is the women's basketball is a lot more fundamental, like to the T, what basketball should be played like: passing, moving the ball,
getting the open shots,
setting up zones and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and to be able to do that in this era, especially to be able to blow out the men's record the way she did.
And Curry, so the article that we'll share to the French Fanatic page is Curry surprising her on like a video call, congratulating her, and he even mentions how she finished with a way better career percentage than him, where she finished. Okay, so just to give you guys some context clues here, if you shoot, let's say, 39-40% from three,
you're really fucking good.
Yeah. 3-point, that's kind of far back. She shot 44% for her career.
And I don't think it's over yet. I think she's still a junior.
Yeah, obviously college basketball is still going on, so yeah, maybe she'll probably play her senior year too.
I can't remember where she's at in terms of her years, but I know Curry did come out and say that she's gonna be able to put it to a point where nobody's gonna touch it, much like Brady, where it's just like nobody's ever gonna touch those records in terms of the Super Bowls and stuff like that.
It's a really cool story. I mean,
it is really cool, and also it comes on the heels of a bunch of women in the MLB. We had our first manager in an MLB affiliate last year, and it's just cool to see. You're seeing a lot more women in NFL coaching. I know San Fran had that coach who was a woman. Oh, did they?
Yeah, last year. Yeah.
So she's around, and it's just cool to see. I don't think there's any reason why a woman or a man couldn't be a coach. To be able to tell somebody how to do something, it just takes a person and someone willing to listen to them. So I'm excited to see it. I would like to see more of it, honestly, because you see it especially in the NBA. I can't remember her name, but she came from the Spurs. She's probably going to be the first NBA
I think she will
coach.
Too. Greg Popovich has really groomed her to be.
Yeah. And she's been in she's been in the Spurs organization for a long time.
And if you're under Greg Popovich, you're under the right organization. Like he is one of the goats when it comes to. You're right. Greg Popovich is definitely one of the best NBA coaches out there. I'd say when it comes to coaching international players, to me, he's the best.
Yeah. I mean, you look at what he's done with
Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, who was from France.
Yep, exactly.
There's another one, Tim Duncan, that was actually from Barbados. Why am I?
Oh fuck!
Well, I know he's American, but no, he's had a lot of international players on his team, but he seems very open-minded.
He's basically like the modern day. Oh god damn it!
You're not gonna say Phil Jackson.
Yeah, I would put him there, but
he has 5 titles.
He does, but he's not the same in terms of like prolificness. But he is like our version of that. I don't know if there will ever be another Phil Jackson.
Well, that and it's just like it's so
Becky Hammon.
Okay, let's make it famous. Becky Hammon.
I would not be surprised if in the next 5 years you see her as a head coach of an NBA
I've been
team.
waiting for each year. I think it wouldn't surprise me if this year Popovich retires and she takes over. Because there's been a lot of games where Popovich has
she's running,
missed, and she takes over, and she's become like the first NBA interim coach. But yeah, it's great, like
she's actually the head coach of the Las Vegas Aces now in the WNBA.
Well, good
So
for
she's
her.
already got a head coaching job. I do think, though, just from what I've heard and read about her, that she will be an NBA head coach soon.
She deserves it. It's these women know what they're talking about. Basketball knows no gender.
Yeah, and it's just like we said, without women, what the fuck would we be?
I mean, honestly, I can't believe I'm just now thinking about it, but I would probably catch some shit if I didn't mention that. Every time me and Hannah play, she
dominates you.
Let's not
She
go
dominates.
that far. Chris, let's back it up.
She
a little
shuts
bit.
you down.
She
swats
shut
the ball.
fuck up. You never even watch us. You shut the
I
fuck
don't need
up.
to. I've seen
There's
how athletic
sometimes
you are.
Yeah, I'm pretty fucking athletic. But she's
don't
faster,
either.
okay?
Yeah,
I've got
she's
the size
shifty.
advantage. She's got the quickness, okay?
Yeah.
But she played basketball in high school, and she's still pretty good. But she does beat me.
And she dominates you. Anyways,
You fucking asshole.
that brings us to the end of the DDOE.
We're gonna record it next time, okay?
It does go out to Taylor Robinson of Oklahoma as she secures the NCAA women's lead of 3-pointers with 498 made in her career. She's probably going to go on to have a pretty fruitful career in the WNBA.
That's right.
So big ups to her. So
Congratulations.
on that note, Taylor Robinson, this shot is for you, and this is proper 12. I poured this for you. So
Well, thank you.
proper 12 to you, Taylor Robinson, on a proper 498 3-pointers made over like a 40% clip, which is insane.
44%.
Yeah, that's
insane.
nuts. So this goes out to you. Thank you very much. We appreciate you, and hopefully all of your followers follow us.
And Chris, it's been fun.
Cheers to you, sir.
Love you, buddy.
Let's not have another spill. We already had one of those.
We're not gonna do that again. That's a lot easier to get down.
Oh, yeah. So speaking of which, I spilled. It's gone.
He had his mics and he spilled it before
spilled
the
my
show
mics.
started. Well,
I knocked it over, and then it's one of those things like where you knock it over and you're like, oh, I saved it, and then you're holding it and you're like, oh yeah, it's about to erupt, and then it erupted all over my
I
crotch.
didn't know it was like carbonated like that.
It's very carbonated.
Yeah,
It's that
apparently.
malt beverage.
Yeah.
Malt. But
Well,
anyways,
we
my legs are
recorded-
probably gonna stick together when I get on the way home. So
Yeah, if you guys didn't notice from the YouTube where Chris had a few like spill marks on him, I'm just surprised that we went 22 episodes or 21.
we really did.
before
That was the
spilling
first time we
anything.
spilled anything.
Yeah, good job, dude.
Yeah, way to go. So next week though, we do have cameras in here, and we do have like a sweet boom mic, and we do have like lav mics. We did fuck up though and forgot that it was Hannah's birthday and my mom's birthday when we set all this shit up. So next week, hopefully, you will have a multi-angle.
We are bringing in a real producer. Well, we're not bringing in, but we're teaming up with a real producer
Yeah,
that has done
bunch of stuff.
countless reputable things,
Yeah.
more so than we've ever.
We haven't done
Our resume
shit.
doesn't hold up to him at all.
Yeah.
But his name is Ken, and his
Ken
production
Longoria.
company is.
And his girlfriend, Nick Magoo.
Yeah.
We call her Nick. But she and him both are running Midnight Pros, and they brought in a bunch of sweet shit to help us set up and make the show better. So next week, hopefully, you will be seeing us from multi-angles. We'll have like camera 1, camera 2, camera 3 back behind us. We might be doing all kinds of splits and switches. You don't even know what's happening. Either way, this shit's going to look more legit, and that means that if you are listening or watching right now, please go like, share, subscribe, and follow, and please rate us on whatever you're watching.
It'll be a big episode because it will be the Super Bowl preview episode. We will be
That's true.
spending a decent amount of time previewing.
Probably the whole first half of the show.
I would
previewing the
imagine
Super
so.
Bowl.
There's a lot to
So,
cover. The Kelsey Bowl.
I don't know if we can call it the
Arizona.
Super Bowl. We might get shut down for that. We might have to call it the big game because that is trademarked by the NFL Super Bowl.
There's
so.
a lot that we put out there, like John Daly's music and shit.
It's
so
never gotten hit. You
Yeah.
know what's funny? Fast Eddie shit we got hit for. It wasn't going to go against us. It just says like, oh, this is a copyrighted thing.
no way.
But it's for YouTube use. John Daly? Never.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That just goes to prove how excellent John Daly
And
is.
that's why, John Daly, please hit us up. We
Please.
need you. We need your son. We'll put Fringe Fanatics on your golf bags. I'll put it on your shoes.
We'll
Hell,
send you
I'll
stickers.
come kiss your shoes myself if you like this podcast.
We'll meet you at Hooters.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever you want to do. We'll buy your wings.
There's Hooters.
Buy you
all
beer.
around. Yeah. So, anyways, thank you all for listening. Please,
It's been fun.
like I said, go like, share, subscribe, and follow us on anything and everything. Please rate us if you're listening to us right now. Rate us. It helps so fucking much. On that note, though, this has been Fringe Fanatics. We appreciate and love every one of you. Chadley, I love you, buddy.
I love you, buddy. Cheers, man.
Here's to another good episode.
Another good time.
This one goes to you guys. Thank
you, guys.
We'll see you next time.